There's something else that's happening within this spiritual journey that's making it hard. And he mentions accountability. So who is he wanting to be accountable for what? And who is uncomfortable about taking ownership of particular things? And what is it about the dynamic that makes them uncomfortable? So if you can take these like puzzle pieces and unpack them in their smallest individual parts, you will get to the root of it. And that's where the healing is.
It's interesting. I love that example of, almost a diagram of how we grow
Mm-hmm.
and how one person can grow up like this.
Oh, yeah.
You're not doing it with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when people say we're growing apart.
Absolutely.
That's what that means.
That's absolutely it. And so you have to recognize that when you're growing, sometimes your picture changes. And what that means is we all have pictures in our head of what forever is supposed to look like. So as I'm growing, is the picture of forever changing? And what we have to do is we have to look at every member of a couple. And sometimes a couple is more than two. So it's every member of a couple. And I know that's going to make some folks mad, but that is the reality that relationships look very different. You have to look at what your forever is, what your partner or partner's versions of forever is, and how closely those align and how closely those drift apart. Just a little bit, that's okay. But if your version of forever looks like this way over here, and my version looks like this way over here, we have to decide, can we build a container that is our relationship that can house both of our versions in a way that supports and fosters and allows those to thrive? Or are those versions so different because we've grown in such different directions that perhaps forever doesn't mean us as a couple forever together?
Mm.
That's real.
That's real. That's real, Mr. Mahogany. That was a good one there. I hope you got that one there, brother.
Now, you got some people piling up in the room?
Oh, they are piling up in the room.
So let me take one more super
What
chat.
does that mean, piling up in the room?
Well, they're joining. They're joining. The video chat is popping.
Yeah.
The video chat is popping.
And give us a second, guys. Officially 800 people in the chat. So Dr. Spear, we about to light it up tonight. But shout out to Selena Hill, who sent over super chat as well. And Selena actually one of our initiatives that won our matchmaker book. So Selena, let us know if you finally got that book, okay? Because it should be to you if it's not already. But Selena says she's had several long-term relationships. Okay. Now she's single again at 38. And she's since learned the importance of vetting men. Okay. Right. But the thing is, now that she's worried that she might be dismissing them a bit too soon. So her question is, how does she know when she should stick around or move on?
Well, I'd be curious about what vetting means. And sometimes when we learn a new thing, we tend to become like a zealot with it. Like think about anything that you
Something that way.
come on, like you decide you're gonna play tennis and then you go out and get the whole new outfit, you get the new racket, you go spend all the money on it, or you find a new religion and all of a sudden you go to worship on Wednesday, you out there on Saturday, on Sunday, you preaching to everybody, and you don't even know where you are in the process. So what happens is when we learn a new thing, we tend to swing so far to the other side of the pendulum that sometimes we have to wait and slow down and recognize that where we should really be is right in the center. And so if she recognizes, I started vetting people, and then what I was doing was cutting everybody off, my question is, what are you vetting? Are you vetting your compatibility? Are you vetting your chemistry? Are you interviewing them to figure out, does this person fit the type of dating that I want to be doing? Or what is your strategy here, sis? And so if you find that you are cutting everybody off, one of two things is true. Either you are doing it the wrong way, and there may be some emotional unavailability that says, I was in a relationship for a long time. All of a sudden, now here I am single again, and I really am not ready to be out there dating. Or you're in a situation where you're in the wrong pond. This happens a lot because if we're not clear about not only the partners that we want to be with, but where these kinds of people are located, then you're in the wrong pond and everybody is not going to be a good match for you. Right. So say, for example, and this happens all the time. I start getting into dating work and counseling and people will say, I don't know what kind of man I want. And it's like, okay, well, let's kind of visualize him. And I don't mean like the physical, right? So we're not going to be like, let's go. Well, now look at, no, I might let's look around here, right? Let's look at, so she's like, yeah, he's this tall. I don't want to know about his physical stature, right? Because chemistry is something totally different. What I want to know about is what kind of man do you believe you would be compatible with? So if you say, well, I want a man who is a corporate man. Okay. So tell me about a corporate man. Does he wear a suit every day? Does he wear I don't know, scrubs every day? Like, what does corporate mean to you? And so then if they say, oh no, yeah, he wears scrubs. Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting into hospital. So is he like in administration? Is he a surgeon? What are we talking about? Oh yeah, Spirit, he's a surgeon. Okay, well, how many doctors do you know? Many. Okay, well, how many conventions do you go to? Medical conventions? Okay, well, when the conventions come into town, like, do you hang out in the bars for the networking events and everything? No, Spirit. Well, then it says, how you gonna meet a doctor? You don't know any doctors? You're not hanging out where doctors hang out? You're not doing, do you think like, what, we're going to cross paths at the light and he's going to pull over and get your number?
Right.
Like, how do we get into the right pond? So if you find everybody that you're meeting, there's something wrong with them, I want you to stop and ask yourself, am I where I'm supposed to be in order to meet them? Where would your it's Friday night? It's Friday night, like going on 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Where would your man be at on Friday night? Now, if he's on Free Advice Friday with us, then drop a little thing in the chat to say, well, this ain't going to be. But let's ask him how much therapy has he had, okay? Because I want to know. Healing is important. But we have to get, and I'm serious about that, but we have to get serious about meeting our wants. Oftentimes, we just are spinning our wheels, and then we get exhausted by all the wrong men or all the wrong women. And then all of a sudden, we give the one that's supposed to be ours our worst when we really should have reserved our best.
Wow. So look, thank you so much.
No, I teach folks how to date. Now we can do that part.
Oh my, first of all, that's
a networking mixer.
Oh my,
we do need to do that.
Now I'm telling you, I will kill.
We're gonna talk to you on the show.
Yes, we got something we want to talk to you about. Actually,
we got some plans. We on the same page. We are aligned. All right. So check it out. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start bringing this. We're gonna start bringing up the family real quick. I'm just bringing y'all literally in the order that y'all came up here, so y'all better not be getting mad at me.
Almost 850.
She not paying bills on time. You not taking out the trash. You not spending no time with her kids. Now, when you were just picking them up for dinner, you was okay with little Raekwon, right? Now Raekwon in your house, you don't want shit to do with him now. You see this?
Yeah.
You got to live with people. You got to live with people because you never fully know someone until they drop their guard. In the three conditions that normally force the ego to stop lying and tuck away the actor we like to project: pregnancy, marriage, cohabitation.
Yeah.
I recommend you cohabitate first before the pregnancy and the marriage so you can really know who this person is. You don't know him if you ain't lived with him, but ladies, it should be a 2-year limit.
I would say this, man,
because the ladies.
I used to always say this. I say the people that work with you, I say the people that live with you and the people that work with you know you very well. And I say work because you get to see a different side of them. They work ethics, their habits, their patterns in a different way as far as they grind, especially a man.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, man, I must say, man, I failed at it. I failed at living with a woman, and it could be mainly because I did find these things out. But the reality of it is, too, it can be very confusing when you start shacking up with somebody. It's a lot of confusion involved with that.
It is, but here's my question for you, though. Were you ready to compromise your personal lifestyle in the agenda you had for yourself? Because remember, relationship means compromise. If you're not ready to give up or give in on anything that's important in your life, you ain't ready for a relationship. You still need a pleasure contract because you're not ready to be accountable and you're not ready to take on responsibility for that other person. You see that?
Yeah.
So a lot of the confusion stems around the fact that you like her, but you're not ready to compromise the life I live. I'm not ready to only watch one game on Sunday with the homies when I'm normally there from 12 to 12. You see that?
Yeah.
I'm not ready to put in the type of time with her children that are not mine that I spend with my own. You see that?
Yeah.
I'm not ready to start being responsible for how I spend my money. I don't be doing how I want, and she wants us to have a budget. I ain't never done no damn budget. You see, are you ready to compromise? Because two egos that are not ready to compromise can't have a relationship. That's a situationship or a pleasure contract. And again, that's all right if that's where you are. But the minute you say relationship, that means you got to give up in order to get in.
Let me ask you this. I want to take the conversation in a bit of a different direction. And we got all five of them.
Yes,
we got them all in. Y'all gotta be taking some damn notes because Dr. Umar is in the building.
I need that transcript too.
Yeah, we got to.
And you know that really dropped about 2 books.
Let me give you one point before you turn it there.
Yeah.
We need that intimacy, that trust, that availability, that reciprocity, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. If you didn't get it, you will spend the rest of your romantic life trying to get it fulfilled through people who are not your parents. This is where you're in a relationship with a woman and you say, I feel like a damn daddy. I don't feel like her man. She needs me to raise her. The woman says he's a little boy. I feel like more of his mother than his wife. You know why? They have unmet needs and they're trying to get them fulfilled through you. And you need to let him know that you're not his mom and he needs to go back to his mom and work on them issues or find a mother figure to work on them through because you're draining me.
We don't have them.
You're draining me. The relationship is weighing on me because I'm not just wife. I'm wife and I'm mom. I'm not just husband. I'm husband and I am dad. And this is why you got to meet them parents if they're there. And if they're not there, you better do a thorough psychohistory interview with your mate to be to find out what they went through in their life. Because if you find out there was an abandonment issue, there was an intimacy issue, never felt love, giving up for adoption, foster care, whatever the case may be, there was a trust issue, then you know there's a vulnerability there. And that woman or that man is going to spend the rest of their life trying to get the childhood unmet needs met. The Bible, I'm not Christian, but one thing in the Bible, it talks about how the sins of the father will visit the children until the umpteenth generation. Nothing
Question. Would you
see another day? No, things aren't where I want them to be. No, I don't have all the things I want to have. But I'm thankful that I'm still here. I have another opportunity, another day to live, another chance to contribute, another chance to make a difference in life.
It is ridiculously impossible to become a human being. I am one. I have other good things going for me as a human being, and I'm just grateful. You're dwelling and looking at what you don't have versus looking at what you have.
You are alive against stupendous odds. You are breathing air, observing sunsets, gazing into the night sky. Most people who could exist will never experience them.
I need to constantly remind myself I'm not yet where I want to be, but I know I'll get there. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm grateful. I am so grateful that I'm not where I used to be.
I find 10 things to be grateful for before my feet hit the ground. 10 things, and they can't cost money. And especially if I'm feeling strained and stressed, I go over my gratitude list because gratitude will reduce stress all day long.
Happiness only requires that you are grateful. If you got $1 billion and 3 beautiful children that love you and a beautiful husband and wife, but it doesn't matter what you have if you're not grateful. If you live in an emotional hole, a habitual pace of worry or frustration, your life's called worry and frustration.
Perspective. I want you to see gratitude and opportunity like it's fun. You get to decide if you're going to dwell and play prevent defense, or if you're going to see opportunity and be grateful and go on.
I am not where I want to be, but I'm so grateful. I'm not where I used to be. If you didn't make me, you can't break me. If you didn't make the sun come up, you can't stop me. If you didn't make the moon shine at night, you can't stop me. My purpose, my will, my dedication, my motivation is all about doing the business, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I'm about. I'm about that business. I'm about that life.
You have to stay grateful. You can't take things for granted. We have so much abundance in the world, so much opportunity, and too many people crying about what they don't have, instead of being so deeply grateful for what they have.
Do all you can within your power and the power of others who love you to maximize what you can be, what you can think, what you can learn, how you can love, whatever it is. That's what you got. Use it.
In this very moment, all you have is all you need.
What would you like to do? What do you believe you've been destined to do?
Sometimes you have to fall back into the dark room and focus on you. You have a date with destiny. You have unfinished business. It's time for you to go back to the drawing board with a new perspective. If you can see it, you can have it. I am clutch. I am the difference maker. I am the game changer. I must work out X amount of times a week. I must forgive. I must evolve. I must become. I must retain. I must grow. I must live. I must evolve. I must go to the next level. I must live in this type of house. I must drive this type of car. Perspective is what changes the game. Stop complaining about the divorce. Stop complaining about the job loss. Are you going to complain in the face of conflict, or are you going to seize the opportunity? What if losing your job was the opportunity? What if the divorce is an opportunity? What if the bankruptcy is an opportunity? What if the one you love was an opportunity for you to reconnect with somebody and forgive them? Sometimes it's a snap. You got to get tired of being broke. I'm talking to that person who grew up without a father. I'm talking to that person that is acquainted with pain. I'm talking to that person that knows what it's like to come from nothing. And so you literally have nothing to lose. And the only thing that's in your head is a dream. The only thing that's in your head is I have what it takes to get to the top of that hill. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. There will be many times in your life. There will be depression. There will be anxiety. There will be oppression. There will be stress. There will be overwhelm. Will you buckle under the pressure, or will you rise to the occasion? You are not dead yet. You may be tired, but you are not dead. You may be broken, but you are not dead. You may be weary, but you are not dead. You have an opportunity to rise above what happened to you. You gotta make it up in your mind that all you have is all you need.
When I was accepted to SU, that was one of the greatest days of my life.
I know. It hasn't been easy. It's time to win.
Nothing is more true about that statement than in the world of mental health. If grandfather was an alcoholic, grandson is likely to be. Great grandson is likely to be. If great grandma was promiscuous, granddaughter is likely to be. Great granddaughter is likely to be. It is very hard to break dysfunctional family cycles and patterns. Very hard. That's why when you meet the mom, you say, I know the mom's kind of loose. You feel me? Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
Are you sure that didn't get passed down? It doesn't mean it had to, but there's a strong likelihood that it did. You got to check your partner's unmet needs, because if they were not met, they're going to be looking for them to get met through you. And that's not your job, nor can you meet them, because unfulfilled issues from childhood can only be fulfilled through those parents.
So what I want to actually get into here, and good game, way to close that out, man.
Nice.
That's a good closure on that conversation. I want to talk about the leadership aspect, because a lot of the ladies, we got a lot of ladies always talking about, they're having troubles finding a man that's qualified to lead a family. And when we talk about a man who's qualified to lead, I want you to define the best way you can what you feel a man needs to actually be able to head and lead a household.
That's going to vary woman to woman. Some women want an aggressive dictator. Some women want
They'll never say that.
They won't, but they do. Some women do. Other women want a man who's more of a facilitator, who takes the lead when necessary, but would much rather collaborate with his queen. You follow? So we have to look at the style of husband a woman is looking for. And to my sisters, I would challenge them respectfully. If the man you want shows up with the ability to lead, do you have enough trust in yourself, in respect for Black manhood, to allow him the opportunity to lead you? Because let me tell you what I've had women tell me in therapy. Dr. Umar, I found a man of my dreams. Takes care of me, takes care of my kids. I don't have to work. I trust him. He don't cheat. No issues. But guess what? I was conditioned by my mother and my grandmother to never depend on a man and never let a man make decisions for you. I know he's what I need. I know I can trust him. But the conditioning in my family, that intergenerational we don't trust or respect Black men, has gotten so deep into my mind that the very man I waited my whole life for, I might lose because I can't get control of my issues. So when the sister said you're looking for a leader, are you ready to receive him when he shows up? You see that?
Yeah.
Because a lot of women can't relinquish that, even though our sisters have been punished far too long because of the white man's war against the Black man that sends us to the penitentiary and to the graveyard. Black women have had to lead on their own for 50, 60 years. So they've gotten so comfortable not having to answer to a man. Look at this now. You're talking about 3 generations. No man. Now one comes up, traditional family values, church-going man, spiritual man, and she can't let him lead, because even though she's tired of being in charge, there's something about the power she don't want to relinquish. And that's a big reason why a lot of women don't have husbands. It's not because they can't find them. It's because they cannot respect a man who shows up with traditional Black masculine traits.
Ooh. So is that a bigger, is that a bigger issue than the fact that there's not enough of these brothers out here? It's really
both. It's both. Now, it's not enough of us to go around. That's true. But I would tell sisters the same thing I would tell a brother who says he can't find a good African-American woman. Go to Brazil. I just came from Central America a couple of days ago. Those Afro-Latino sisters is fine. I was in Jamaica. Go to the Caribbean. Go to London. There's more Black women in the world than any other female. So if you're looking for a Black woman, you can find one. Well, guess what, sisters? Africa has no shortage of Black men. Caribbean has no shortage of Black men.
They're scared of them African brothers.
I was gonna say, you know what the difference is? You know what the difference is right there? In traditional African culture, the man is the man and the woman is the woman. So the whole snapping your neck, cursing me out in public, it ain't gonna work. It's not happening in Nigeria. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's not happening in the Congo. It's not happening. You understand? It's not happening in Botswana. You see? So if the sister wants, and don't get me wrong, they won't have to work. Those brothers on the continent and many of the brothers in the Caribbean, they are that traditional Black masculinity that our sisters crave. But are you humble enough to receive that? You'll get what you want, but can you let them lead? Because that goes against the dominant trend of thought coming out of the radical Black feminist camp, where you don't answer to no man, you don't take orders from no man, you don't even make a decision with a man. You are in charge. He is the enemy. So if you're a Black woman coming from a radical Black feminist tradition, The last thing you want is a African or Caribbean brother, because they're not having that. You're going to respect them and they're going to respect you. You see, in America.
Signing up for that. This is why I didn't want to get married. When I was younger, I would say around like 23, 24, marriage was just something I didn't want. And it was because I had watched all the women in my family do this, whether they were married or single mothers. I watched all the women in my family do this. And I was like, no, I'm not signing up for that. So I'm not getting married. I'm not signing up for that. I'm not getting married. But then I realized first of all, there's not just two ways. There's multiple ways you can skin a cat. Is the saying. That's how the saying goes. There's multiple ways you can skin a cat. And how I saw these women in my family do it, which is basically the list that you guys just read, right? It's not the way that I have to do it. So I can still want to get married and I can still want marriage. Doesn't mean I have to sign up for this 50-50 death sentence. Because that's what that is. You're going to mill yourself into the grave. And I feel sorry for women that are stuck in marriages right now that are doing this, and their beauty, their health, it's literally deteriorating before their eyes. I tell you guys all the time, people always DM me on Instagram, I'm trying to lose weight, help me. I have to ask you, what is your lifestyle? Because if you're stressed out, running your kid all over town, doing this for your man, or in a relationship where you're not getting the support, you're not going to lose any weight. A lot of women who follow me, the reason why they can't lose weight is because they're stressed. You can't lose weight when you're stressed. You can't lose weight when you're overworked. You can't lose weight when you don't have the support. It won't happen for you. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And you know, the number one thing that kills me about Black men is they see their moms and they see how their health is not good. Their weight is not good. Their weight is not healthy. Regardless of if they're underweight or overweight, it's just not healthy. Their health chart is just not healthy. But they expect for their woman to be like their mother. I'm not your mother. I'm not. I'm going to get a maid, a nanny, a housekeeper, whatever. This is what I don't understand about Black people and Black culture. If it's going to make your life easier, why not invest in yourself? Because this is how I see it. When I get married, I feel like if I'm not stressed, my man's not stressed, my kids are not stressed, and my kids are not living in a stressful environment. If it makes the home healthier, if it makes the environment healthier, if it makes me less stressed, it makes my man less stressed, my husband less stressed, it makes the kids less stressed. What's the problem? But you know, some of these men like to guilt trip you. Well, my mother, I'm not your mother. Your mom had to do what she had to do because she had no other choice. I have choices. That's why my mother and my grandmother sacrificed. They sacrificed for me to be able to have certain opportunities, certain options and luxuries that they could either not afford or they couldn't have. So I'm not about to live the struggle life just because that's what you saw your mama do. We're supposed to progress, move forward. Having help and getting the support is so necessary. It takes a village to raise kids. And I refuse to be overworked in a marriage, which brings me to my next point. Now, if you don't know who DeVal and Kadeem are, they are basically influencers. DeVal ended up being on a hit show on BET. I'm not aware of the name, but Kadeem, they're like influencers. DeVal ended up going viral a few years back. And basically, he ended up going viral because he made a video about how hard it is replacing his wife for a few hours and how he had to take care of the kids and how he felt drained, tired, overworked, right? I'm gonna have to post the old video. He ended up going viral because he was complaining about how he was so tired and exhausted and all he did was get the kids ready for the day.
I'll tell you about the moment I had. Jane left me with the kids by myself to get them ready. Now, she normally don't do that. She normally get them ready before she leaves. I would never in my life ever ask her what's taking so long again. It took me an hour and a half to get both these kids ready. I burned like 1,500 calories. Midway through the change, Roro poops. So now I gotta bathe him. I take him out of his clothes, I put him in the bathtub. Jackson was already dressed. You know what he did? He went and got up dressed because he thought he was going in the bathroom. Now he undressed, Roro undressed. We back at square one. I finally get them two dressed. I go to hit the door. I realize I ain't even got no damn clothes on. I got on socks and drawers. Now I put Roro down. He's screaming at the top of his goddamn lungs. I'm losing my mind. He's screaming at the lungs. Jackson is no help. He's on his iPad the whole time. I finally get them ready. We get out the door. We get to the car. You know what I forgot? The car keys. Had to go back upstairs. I'm so tired. I don't even know where I'm at right now. I just want to go home. I just want to go home, take a nap. Like
So imagine a woman doing that while working, which is very interesting in 2020 that he's basically saying Kadeem, right, does not meet his sex drive. And I wonder why. The thing that really irritates me about this conversation, and it's really unfortunate because I like their family. They seem fun. They seem down to earth. They just seem real, right? But I didn't like this. I have to keep it all the way real. I did not like this. And honestly, I was left disappointed. I was left disappointed in DeVal. I was left disappointed because he's giving me vibes that basically they have traditional roles within their marriage, yet Kadeem is still expected to go outside the home and be a non-traditional wife. And I don't feel like that's fair to her. And then he's sitting up here basically complaining about how she does not meet his sex drive. So let's go ahead and get into this, and then I'll be back for the remainder of my commentary.
I am not allowed, based on our marriage laws and the contract we signed with each other,
Right.
to have sex with anybody else.
Right.
So these urges that come, I have to share them with the one person I decide to spend the rest of my life with.
Right.
So that brings me back to my soundbite.
Okay.
Right? I don't understand, and this is what we can discuss as a woman, because I don't want to say it's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me? If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. Too many meetings.
That I ever told, be the story of my life, really you I ever proved. Feel like I sold my soul. 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 Feel like I sold my soul.
I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged and you wanted to be married before you lived with me? You didn't say that?
I don't want $1 billion. That don't mean I'm going to get it. I can want something, but not.
You right now. You're asking the question.
Nobody pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But
you didn't press me. Are you going to lie now to the people because we talking about sex? You're going to lie now to the people?
Deval. Knowing.
Come here, you didn't want monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
That's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were going to deliver it? Like, nobody pressed you for that.
Come on, you just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
I can make a request. Is the request going to be granted?
Am I not granting you monogamy?
You are granting it to me.
So this is my question.
Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
This is my question. If you wanted monogamy,
okay,
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question. You're avoiding the question.
I'm avoiding the question, but at first you said women or in general me specifically are pushing monogamy on somebody. Okay, yes, that's something that I wanted, but I didn't press you for it and be like, down the whole gun to your head to propose to me. Also, let me finish. Also, I don't feel like I was adequately prepared for marriage. And I've said that before, because if I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated if I wanted to be monogamous anyway. So the part of this video that really, really irritated me was the simple fact that Deval couldn't understand that if Kadeem got more help around the house, she got more support around the house, whether they hire a housekeeper, a nanny, a maid, or whatever, she would be able to match his sex drive. See, men, they still want the woman to have the body, to have the beauty, to have the energy, to have the sex drive that they had prior to marriage, but they don't understand what it really, really takes to have that. They think if they watch their mom do it, then what's the problem? And the thing that really irritated me with Deval was he couldn't understand that if she just got the support that she needed in the home, he would be able to get the sex that he is looking for. He would be able to get a woman that can match his sex drive, the same woman that was matching his sex drive before marriage. Basically, Kadeem was complaining about how she just wasn't in the mood, and a lot of it was because she was just tired, overworked, and drained, considering how you're caregiving and nurturing within the home, and then you're also being a full-time employee outside the home, so it's like your partner just gonna have to deal with it. He could not understand that, but if Kadeem got the support, she would be able to get in the mood. She would be able to match his sex drive. Black men love to say, oh, black women, they let themselves go after they get married and whoop-de-woo. If they have the support, they would not do that. Because I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and women, their routine every day, every morning was they would walk their kids to the bus stop, watch their kids get on the bus stop because they did not work. And then after they would drop the kids off or watch the kids get on the school bus or whatever like that, then they would go to Pilates, or they would go do yoga, or they would sit by the pool and tan or whatever. That was the norm for me growing up, was to be able to see that. Meanwhile, my mom, she didn't watch me get on the school bus. I had to watch myself and my brother. We had to watch each other get on the school school bus. My mom was already at work by the time I was on the school bus or bus stop to go to school. See, there's a difference in cultural norms, and no one likes to talk about that. A lot of Black women are overweight or unhealthy or underweight or whatever the case may be. It's because they simply don't have the support. So if you are a man and you're wanting your wife to be fine after kids, you want her to
In America, cooking may be something that women consider to be beneath them. In Africa, our sisters guard the kitchen. They don't even want you in it. They proud because what you consume keeps your spirit alive. So they are very protective. The kitchen is almost a sanctuary. In America, I don't feel like cooking. And you see, so it's a whole different orientation. So the same thing for brothers. If you want a sister with old-fashioned female traits, go to Africa, go to the Caribbean. But sticking here in the American theater, here's a big issue that Black women have to deal with. We got to deal with it too. This whole thing of serial monogamy versus the taboo of polygyny. Many Black men, because we get our cake and get to eat it too, we are outnumbered. You guys are in Atlanta, one of the most outnumbered states, right? Black men, Black women, outnumbered cities. We get to have our cake and eat it too. Because of that, we tend not to tell women the truth that very few men, especially alpha brothers, are monogamous. Most alpha men, most men, period, are polygamous. That doesn't mean they're going to have two women at the same time all the time. It means that during the course of the relationship with the primary queen, you will entertain other feminine energy along the way. We're not honest with the women. We don't tell them that. We'll tell them it's only you, baby, and I love only you, baby. So every woman thinks, if I find the right one, I never have to worry about having to share him, when that's really not the truth for a lot of the men. Now, that might be an issue of preference, but then we got to look at an issue of predicament. It's not enough Black men to go around. So if a sister wants an American African brother, she don't want my African brother, my Caribbean brother, my South Central American brother. She's going to have to consider a polygynous arrangement. Now, when I say that, the feminists go off.
They go crazy.
Absolutely. I want to challenge the feminists. I got to push back on my radical Black feminists, because the same sister who says she will not partake in polygyny will willingly date a married man.
I've seen it.
So help me understand where you are against plural marriage, but you have no problem being the undercover mistress for a man who you know is married. You see that?
Wow.
So do you know what that tells us?
What?
You're not against polygamy. You're for polygamy as long as nobody know you're practicing it. So that's called hypocrisy.
Wow.
A lot of our sisters are polygynous hypocrites. I will do it if nobody knows, but if you ask me to stand up and be accountable to the community, I'd much rather not.
So it's pretty much you're saying people be more concerned with protecting our reputation.
Absolutely.
Than actually.
And what do sisters fear the most about being in a plural marriage? The kickback you're going to get from other sisters. Yeah. It's the queendom that they fear. You dummy. What you in there for? Letting them sleep with it. Now, mind you, the same person calling her dummy, her man got another woman too. The difference is this sister is with a man who was honest enough to tell her, this is what I'm going to be about. So with me, I'm going to have two queens. Only two. I don't want more than that. Right? Because the older you get, the less of your life force you need to be shooting out anyway, because you're going to die young. You understand? And that's another thing as brothers need to understand. You got to get that penile syndrome, that lower chakra under control, because it'll take you out of here early. Wow. You know, remember, women are designed spiritually. They devour our essence. You understand? They're man eaters in a good way. You see? So as you get older, you got to slow down. Like the Chinese, they have a philosophy of the chi, which they got from us. But they say you only get a certain amount of chi. And the biggest way you lose your chi is through releasing your energy into a woman. Once your chi is dried up, the ancestors take you. That's Chinese medicine. Yes. They say it comes in limited amount. Once it's used up, you're out of here. So we have to start pulling back. But again, we are too oriented in our dating culture towards sex, and we're losing because of it. Even the women. Why you think they're getting BBLs, breast surgery, all of this? Why? Because we have stripped our Black women of the sacredness of their vagina. The Black man has stripped the Black woman of the sacredness of her vagina. The vagina is a sacred space. You're not even supposed to go in it unless you're willing to assume responsibility for that woman and everything that proceeds from that vagina, i.e. children. A lot of us only see the vagina as a pleasure object. You see that? Right. And because we have reduced the woman to an object, she's now reducing herself to an object to do the best she can to attract a man. If we told all Black women, we are not going to be bothered with you unless you start wearing skirts again. We're not going to be bothered with you unless you stop dressing sexually provocative, they would do it. Because guess what they love more than the BBL? Guess what they love more than the weaves and the wigs and the tight jeans? They love having a man to come home to. We control the sexual explicitivity of our women, but because we're so thirsty for how they look, it's hard for us to bring them back to a platform where they can once again be regarded as the queens we need them to be.
Before
a man, if I'm going 50-50 with my woman, it's hard, brother. You sitting up here, your nice house, your nice jewelry, nice cars. Oh yeah, man, you gotta do 100%. How, brother? If I'm making $14 an hour, what you expect? You know, you still on there. Oh yeah, man, 100%. You're not a man. You're not a man. How? I'm still working. I'm still providing, right? So what makes me not a man? Because I'm going 50-50 with my woman.
And brother, I applaud you. Because I understand that it is hard out here. But we are men, so we have to go harder. I'm not saying or trying to speak down to you, my brother, by any means. That's it. I'm not. But I want you to be reminded of something that our fathers didn't teach us, that we must go hard and that we shouldn't get into a relationship with a woman until we have direction.
But who are you to say that?
A person that cares, a person that loves you, a person that's been in your shoes and understands how it feels when we can't give our family what they truly deserve. We have to go hard. Now, give me one moment. I've been in your shoes. And when I was in your shoes, I stayed in my lane. I lived where I lived. My woman didn't work. She nurtured to the children till I got this. And I'm trying to give you the cheat code. Do what you need to do so you can feed your woman. While she's nurturing the children, she can also nurture your dreams and your goals. Now you can be successful. Now you don't have to say, I'm working for $15. Now you can say, I got employees that I'm paying that's working for me for $15. I'm trying to elevate you. But men get so caught in their emotions and their pride. And the first thing you want to do is feel attacked. Get the wisdom.
This is coming from a rich man.
But right now, but right now,
but this is coming from a rich
man.
Man.
How do I get here?
Yeah.
But how do I get here? And I'm giving you the steps. This is, if you put down your ego, if you put down your pride, brother, am I saying anything wrong? I'm saying men should be men.
But you saying we not men. You saying we not men.
Brother, any man that makes an excuse can't be a man completely. You can be a male. A man comes with responsibilities, and it's hard. To be a man, it's hard, brother. It's not easy. That's why the respect you want from your woman that you don't get, I get from mine.
My woman respect me.
Hold on.
My woman respect me.
You think she respects you?
My woman respect me.
You think she respects you?
Yeah,
you think she has she ever raised her voice at you?
No.
Does she cook for you every night?
Of course.
So she respects you, cooks for you every night. Does she clean the house?
Of course.
She cleans the house, and you got her working 16 hours a day. That sounds like slavery.
No, it's not.
Brother, you got her cooking every night.
I don't have her doing anything. She does it because she wants to. We in the trenches together.
The trenches together?
That's what we in.
Brother, do you know anything about emotional abuse?
Explain it.
Emotional abuse is when you pour all your hurt and pain onto a woman, and just because you can't see her scars, you think it's okay. If I had a conversation with your woman, she'll probably start crying. They tired. They not built to go through what they're going through with you. She didn't choose you to struggle.
But again, who are you to say that?
Brother, a brother that loves you. And again, I'm trying to give you the cheat code. If you put yourself in a position, right? You work. If you have to get 2 jobs. You grind, allow your woman to do what she does in the home. If you have a business idea, you have her nurture that, hey, baby, it's going to be a little hard for the next 2 years. But if we move like this, we're going to be good. You keep saying, who am I to tell you this? A man that's been in your position. A man that has risen above your circumstances. And I'm coming back down to say, this is what you do. You're not a man until you move like this. Most males will die, never experience what it feels to be a man and to be completely respected by his women and children because he didn't step into that true king place. Brother, it's hard. I understand. It's difficult.
But do you understand though?
Brother,
do you understand?
Brother, if I didn't understand, I would.
There's no way possible you could understand.
Oh, crazy.
No way.
Why do you think that, brother?
Look at you. You on the net flashy. Yeah, man. You're not a man if you're not going 100. Your woman don't love you because you're not paying 100% of your bills.
She can't.
Dang, who's to say that?
Brother, you will never know what it feels like to truly experience your woman until you're able to remove.
Are you with my woman?
Brother.
Are you with my woman, brother?
Brother,
are you with my woman?
Brother, listen.
Exactly.
I was called you a woman.
You got your woman, I got mine, brother.
Brother, right now, you're dealing in high emotions. You're not even allowing me to finish my sentence,
For
brother.
what? You finished your sentence.
Bro, do you like Chinese food?
No.
Do you like chicken?
No.
So you don't like nothing?
No.
Let me give you a gem, right? It's a gem, brother, please. And may you take this with a divine understanding heart, because I know how sometimes when we get triggered, we can't hear the love in the message because we feel triggered, we feel ashamed. But I'm saying this, if you truly love your woman, right? If you truly care for her, all I'm saying is go hard for her.
Are you interested?
For most women that I know, before they truly consider going to another country to get a black man, the first thing they do is locally just dating outside their race. Locally, that's what they consider. And I just see your whole facial expression.
A lot of coaches
and I see
advise that too.
And a lot of
if you
people
can't find connection with black men, then you should go out and try something a little different.
I want my sisters to be careful. And the reason I want my sisters to be careful, being who I am, I get a lot of stories from a lot of black women. I've had black women tell me they were engaged or married to white men for years, even with children, only for him to turn around and call her the N-word, call her a black bitch, tell her she'll never be as good as a white woman. You understand? Because remember, all white people have that in them. Just because they haven't sex with you, I don't know where we get this idea that if a white person beds you, that means they're somehow different from any other white person. Didn't Thomas Jefferson bed half the plantation? Didn't George Washington bed half the plantation? So where do we get this idea that if a white person is sexing you, they're somehow not racist? They just as racist. I had one sister send me an email. She said, Dr. Umar, my white boyfriend calls me the N-word when we're having sex.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
In fact, she called in on one of my lives and discussed it. Yeah. He calls her the N-word when they're having sex. And she wanted me to know if I felt that was acceptable. I can't believe she could. Yes. Yes. Wow. Because you got to remember, in white culture, the men believe you never really had sex unless you've been with a jungle woman, i.e. our sisters. So all white men want to access the black vagina because it's the best vagina in existence, but they only accessing it, you know, as a fetish. See, white people fetishize us, and we so in love with whiteness, and we're so in love with accessing whiteness and proximity to whiteness, we don't even realize when we're being paraded around like zoo monkeys. White women fetishize black men. And the reason why they love having a black man is in a relationship with a white man, she know who's boss. When a white woman is with a white man, she know who's boss. So if she wants to be a boss, she got to get the black man. He's the only man she can have where she know she can have her way with him. And if she don't get it with his consent, she'll get it through the legal system, i.e. Jonathan Majors. I can destroy your black ass whenever I feel like it. Yeah, you could be worth $1 billion, Bill Cosby. But what's going to happen when I tell the courts you sexually harassed me 40 years ago? See, the white woman loves the black man because she's always in the driver's seat of the relationship. She got the whole force of the white power structure behind her if he gets out of line.
Never consider that.
That is
wow.
And honestly, I think that's why internally I've always been shook. Like I haven't been able to truly date a white woman at all. Like it's fear built into me. I mean, all throughout my childhood, you know, I grew up learning cases on Emmett Till. You know, growing up, that was put into me early, so I already knew what the situation was.
You think about, you know, when you see the police, think about when you see a group of white men.
Or I didn't think about what the black woman.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be thinking about me while I'm with
you just out there.
Absolutely.
I don't date women who have had sex with non-African men.
Even if it was just an experience?
Yes.
Wow.
If they sex them, a date, I can live with that. A kiss, disgusting, but I might swallow it. But if she gave that honeycomb hideout to a devil, if she gave her cookies to that Caucasian slave, I cannot go back into that cave after she let a Neanderthal enter it. I cannot do it. She has disrespected her vagina and every female ancestor we've ever had. I cannot do it.
Wow. Strong words from Dr. Johnson.
So listen, what we're going to do, y'all know, family, for the people that's already here, you already know when we get to the initiation hotline. What we're going to do.
You stacking. How do I not? What? How do that again? Just make them buy you something, or make them compensate you for your time. How do you get your sister to treat herself better? She barely takes care of herself and doesn't know how she does. Take a pic sometimes. Office 44 and 27. How can I signal it's safe to approach without being obvious in the front? First of all, stop telling people you just got out of jail, that you got a restraining order, that you're in public. That's number one. Second of all, thank you for the donation. Sprinkle. Third of all, go get you an old rich sugar daddy, another one, and level up on his dime. Okay? And don't tell him who you are, your past. Don't tell him you crazy. Just keep getting his money. Okay? Start over fresh. And remember, your goal is money. That's it. There you go.
Transform your space with some
There you go, baby.
mahogany or lavender and water lily. Now that's a breath of fresh air wick.
Is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, in here with another episode. We're looking for someone to help us do our jobs. That's why men say, hey man, 50-50, she's my helpmate. A woman helping you do something and a woman doing half of your job is two different things. And this is what they're not understanding. Their women aren't helping them. Their women are doing their job. So when you say, so let's talk provision, okay? Because obviously it's clear that you stand on the side of provision. A man's job is to provide. I want you to walk us through that. What does providing look like from a man on all levels? Like, what does that look like at the highest levels?
First, a man, because we have to deal with self. When I choose a woman, or when a man should choose a woman, it's because he's comfortable within himself. He loves himself. He's physically right, mentally right, spiritually right, intellectually he's being fed, and financially he's right. Now, when a man chooses a woman, he's not choosing a woman to help him do what he's supposed to do. He's choosing a woman to uplift his lineage, take care of his children. And if he's wise enough and he chooses a good woman, he'll pass her a company and say, baby, nurture this. We have to have vision. Men aren't having vision. And that's why you said a man will get into a relationship and be 50-50 for so long. The woman dies, it's still 50-50. But a man not realizing that he should get into a relationship when he can solely be the provider. Why? Because if the relationship doesn't work, you can still keep your home, you can still keep your car, you can still keep everything you have. But if this woman is...
When it comes to Nature Valley, which camp are you?
I know what it feels like to be broken. I know what it feels like to be homeless. I know what it feels like to be ignored. You get into a place where you feel like nobody needs you. Nobody believes you. I know what it feels like for people to tell you to write the book, launch the course, and then when you do it, nobody invests in it. The hour is now for game changers to emerge, for the forgotten, for the rejected, for the ignored, to come out of the ashes and into the light, out of obscurity and into victory. Take the throne with everything that you have in you. The hour is now. I am coming for the throne. I am coming for every room that you locked me out of. Every realm that I step into, I will dominate. I am determined to win, no matter what season I'm in. When you counted me out, when you rejected me, when you overlooked me, when you ignored me, I waited painfully in obscurity for the opportunity to take the throne. I am your replacement. Your rejection has forged a new fire inside of me. Man, I'm climbing the ladder. I'm bringing my team. I'm coming for main scenes and movie screens, billboards and awards, movie stores and labels. I'm signing checks and contracts on every table. I'm no longer stuck in the basement, stuck in the gutter. I'm leaving the casket. You saved me. Vacant. You were here. My feet walking the pavement. No more complacent, driven, persistent, and relentless are all an understatement. Who am I? I'm sorry, not sorry. I am unapologetically your replacement. I have worked while you have slept. I have learned while you have partied. I have saved while you have spent. And I will live like you dreamed. I am relentless. I am resilient. I will not back down. I will not surrender. I am now an agent of change and transformation. I am your replacement. Every room that I walk in, I will change the game. I'm influencing neighborhoods and towns, startups and corporations, from the forgotten about hoods to the nations. I'm coming to reconstruct and resurrect broken foundations, leaving everybody that rejected me out of the equation. The marathon continues. The lava mentality has left a mark. Shout out to the NBA legend, Kobe, and your daughter, Gigi, from Tom Brady to Drew Bledsoe. Rain, sleet, or snow, I grind.
getting to know, like she was speaking from a female's perspective. So she was saying you got to get to know a nigga's family, how he was raised, if he watched his mom get beat on, you know what I'm saying, all that shit, because it's almost guaranteed that he's gonna repeat that cycle. And she was saying, if I find out that a nigga watched his mama get beat on, or if I find out that he did certain other things or whatever, I'm not fucking with him because I know that he's gonna be like that. And my thing is, I don't agree with that because some people have a reverse reaction to that type of shit. Like I saw my mama get beat on, so I don't want anybody else that I love to have to go through that. So I'm gonna make sure that, you know, I'm the right kind of man to not beat on women and, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of shit. And I also feel like if everybody, I feel like everybody deserves a fair chance. Yeah. At least once. Yeah. Like if you give a nigga a chance, you know what I'm saying, and then he shows you, okay, this is what I'm about to turn into, then okay, yeah, get the fuck on. But you can't just prejudge people and automatically be like, okay, this is what you saw or whatever, so I'm not fucking with you because this is what you're going to turn into, because that's what has niggas afraid to open up in the first place, because they already feel like, okay, if I tell this bitch what's going on with me, then she's going to make an assumption and think that she knows how to play me or knows how to treat me, and it doesn't even make sense for me to even try to be shit to her in the first place if I can't even fucking have a safe space with this bitch.
Well, as soon as you show me that this who you think I am, I'm gonna be there time 10. That's just how niggas be. Okay, I'm already convicted. Yeah. Right. So you know this shit in nigga nature to do some of this shit that you think I'm doing. Right. So I'm just being real. So it's like a nigga gonna just, bro, this shit's fucked up.
I'm gonna tell you, it's fucked up. It is relevant what a person has been through in their upbringing, right? Definitely. It is. But their understanding of what happened to them determines how they turn out. So it's not just, oh, you went through that, so you're gonna be like this. It's what is your understanding of what you went through? How did you process what you saw with your mother or your father or, you know, whoever was raising you, grandma, whatever the household looked like? How did you process that? How is that relevant to you as an adult? You know, what are you doing with those experiences? Right. This is why we need to go back to fucking dating. We need to go back to getting to know one another. But like I always say, raw sex feels so good. And we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We just, you know, we talk about, oh, you need to wrap it up. Oh, you're going to get pregnant. What about STD? But we skip over, like, you got to tell the human and program the mind to understand sugar tastes sweet. So this is what this is where the real discipline lies. It ain't in knowing what the consequences are. It's in knowing the exact shit that's going to feel good and deciding that I'm going to do different or I'm going to, you know, shy away from that until we get to know each other. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Even in our upbringing,
no, she said what she's saying is right. She's saying the right shit. But basically, all the shit boiled down to, man, mental illness, bro. Everything. Everybody fucked up a little bit. So how you gonna get with another motherfucker that's fucked up? Both y'all fucked up. It ain't gonna work out. Trauma bonding. You gotta get some help. We gotta get some help.
It is, but for me, the root is in our upbringing, right? Exactly. You can overcome, you know, anything you've been through based on understanding that shit. Really looking at the traumas, how it affected you, the beliefs that was programmed into you, your paradigms and shit about life. But the other part of it is we don't want to be real that there's a problem with the way we're being raised. Like, I don't know, in our community, old folks don't want you to tell them they did shit wrong. They want to pass on, I did the best I could on everything. With what I had. With everything. And it's like, so it makes generations after them not be able to confront shit. So niggas and bitches is walking around with mental health issues. They don't even know. If I go to therapy, if I go to therapy and even start talking about this, and you know, they start bringing up things from my childhood, pulling it out of me, I got the damn fight with mama. She gonna damn near want to knock me out. You know, even as an adult, because I'm saying things that makes her feel some way. Y'all ask me some therapy too.
I don't even know how to control her emotions.
And then that all goes back to accountability too, because the whole, not taking nothing away from older people or no shit like that, but the whole, I did the best of what I could when I had and all that shit, that kind of negates accountability. Yeah, it does. Because that's the excuse for the accountability.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, when I was growing up, you couldn't tell grown people they was lying, even if they were lying. You could know that they flat out telling a lie. You're gonna get popped in your motherfucking mouth if you say it. So it's like, from a young age, we was trained to like fuck with flaw shit. If you raise in one of the households, well, they coming from certain people. What I'm saying is, they never gonna call themselves flaw. But we've seen a lot of flaw shit out of older people, like, auntie, I know you lying. But if I say, auntie, you lying, now I'm gonna get a whoop. I'm gonna get my ass beat for saying what's real. And you can't, even if you didn't say the word lying, if you just tried to say auntie fibbing, you in trouble. Because grown people ain't never wrong. You know what's the stigma, right?
No, like I told one time before, I told my grandma, like, it's just like, you inherit being a hater too. Cause I used to see my grandma like, I'm telling you, bro. Like, as I get older, I realize that was hate.
They call it grown folk business. Yeah, the kitchen is grown. They doing something they paying on their car. Listen, y'all talking about people.
You see a motherfucker get a stove in. By the time she got a new stove, that ragged motherfucker, she got them. She need to be cooking outside. That's hate. Like, why you hating on that lady stove?
But you could never say that. You could never come out like and say what you see. And the other thing is, and I say this all the time, like I do Zooms and shit, just talking to people like about confronting where they get their ways from. Growing up, you can tell your parents is at odds. They separated or whatever. You know, you can see from the energy. My mama don't really fuck with my daddy no more. My dad don't fuck with my mama. And then when you go around, you gotta be fake. When I go with daddy, I can't say certain shit about mama. I can't act excited about certain shit. When I'm with mama, I can't act excited or act like I'm too in my feelings about my daddy because she gonna give me the energy like I'm aggravating her.
That shit be fucked up, especially like on kids because kids don't even really understand how to talk in the bitch
already. Yeah, you know you want to say, Mom, I want to go with my daddy, but she gonna give you a certain energy. Or hell, if you fuck with somebody new age, mom,
you ain't gonna get no McDonald's.
Yeah,
or, you know
fuck your dad. She don't give a fuck about mom. My daddy said he gonna take me here. Fuck your dad. I don't want to hear that shit.
That ain't lying. When was the last time he took you anywhere?
Yeah, so now I'm around my mama acting like I don't fuck with my daddy like that. Yeah. Go with my daddy. Don't say too much about my mama. You see what I'm saying? Like,
then by the time you get alone away from both of them, you crazy as hell.
Flawed in the bitch. We be 6, 7 flawed in the bitch.
Nah, that's facts. Cause the woman will tell you, if a nigga just say, I don't want to be in a relationship no more, she'll tell them kids, he left us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now you nigga be like, why my dad? Like so many niggas in this world feel like, why my daddy leave me? No, bro, I left this bitch because she was crazy, and I know I won't end up doing the wrong shit.
You're right. Now, but you can't say that. You know, all single mothers got a deadbeat baby daddy, and they all went through some damsel in distress struggle that he left them with. I'm so over that shit. I see that shit and I'll be like, these bitches got to think we retarded to keep believing this narrative. Like we seeing hoes outright trap niggas. We seeing bitches outright crazy as fuck and niggas is walking away from them. And them bitches making it, well, you gonna walk away from the child too if you leave me alone. We seeing the parental alienation. We seeing hoes like.
And another thing too is a lot of these niggas are not legitimized. So they technically don't have rights. And then even the ones that
don't want to deal with them.
Don't want to go to court.
I don't want to even go through the mix of that. I ain't gonna try to take my name out of the courthouse to sue for the baby. I ain't making no excuse for a nigga that don't take care of his kid. You know what I'm saying? You find a way. You find a way to goddamn put yourself on something. I don't know.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you on that one point though. For a lot of men, because I'm in the trenches with their ass, I disagree. No, it's a lot. What I'm saying is, it's a lot of niggas that they got the same narrative that I'm saying. If as a woman, if me and you had a baby, I could keep you from that baby if I wanted to.
But you out.
If you want,
there's a way though. There's a way to.
But I'm gonna listen, especially if you in the streets and you still currently in the streets. Bro, come on now. Yeah, nigga. We know how to keep a baby from a nigga. Yeah. Like, we gotta stop pretending like we don't know this shit. Bro, we have a baby right now. You do me wrong. I can't get out my feelings. Nigga, I make it where you never see this shit again. And I know hoes right now, they gonna tell your ass that's what they do. They don't give a fuck. Nigga don't want to be with me. Nigga, you ain't finna be around my baby. It's finna be my baby. And anytime somebody bring you up, I'm gonna paint your ass to be a deadbeat. Even though you're willing to pull up and give money, buy shoot, like you say, I ain't willing to get in front of the crackers and put myself out there because I'm knowing my baby mama get too upset. She'll tell them I still sell dope. Yeah. But bro, come on now, we gotta start being honest about this shit. Same way we willing to be real, that it's some deadbeat ass niggas. It's some hoes by the masses on this bullshit. Overly.
What you think caused that though? Like, what you think caused them to be like that?
It go back to programming. Let me put it like this, right? When you raise in a household,
fatherlessness.
Yes, thank you. Single mother headed households produce the worst product. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, when so as a young girl, you being raised as no daddy around, you don't know what it feels like to get correction or be in the presence of a man as an authority figure. When you can have a man around, like your mama could have a man around, or your daddy could have been around, but if he's not allowed to have influence, like make decisions without your mama,
because I got a daddy, I ain't like that.
Yeah, and without your mama putting your 2 cents when a man make decisions, you ain't got no daddy around if he ain't have influence, right? So that's what I mean by fatherlessness. A nigga might be around, like your mama might have had a boyfriend or a stepdad, but that nigga couldn't tell y'all shit without her putting her 2 cents, or your daddy really couldn't make no decisions for y'all without your mama speaking on it. Fatherlessness. All that shit is fatherlessness. So if you're a young girl and you raise your whole upbringing, 17, 18 years, you don't know what it feels like to be in the presence of a man that has some authority. How you gonna feel comfortable with this shit out in the world? This is why we end up struggling as young ladies trying to process and like feel comfortable around y'all. I feel like a nigga trying to control you. Feel like you're trying to tell me what to do. Feel like you're trying to use your money to do. It's a lot of shit we misperceive, or we take it the wrong way because we don't know what it feel like to have a daddy that say, well, this is the decision as a man. There ain't no woman coming to put her 2 cents on it, right? You only seeing how a woman solves and processes and run the household. This your programming. It's conditioning. Now flip the same shit to a young boy. You 16, 17, fully grown in your build, but you only ever saw a woman run shit. You only ever saw your mama, decide how stuff gonna go in the household. And we nurture her. So a lot of times women don't even realize all that fussing, the way you handling your son, you fucking him up. And we think because a bitch get grown, get a job, and they paying their bills that we did a good job. Meanwhile, like you said, a bitch working a job psychologically fucked up. Mental health issues like a motherfucker, but you get your check, you go home, you pay your bills, like the average American living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe a little bit above that, but you got issues when it comes down to character, when it comes down to conflict resolution skills, when it comes down to compromise in relationships.
Can't get along with Miss Pam. All that old shit.
And this is why it's a lot of niggas that they not gay, they heterosexual males. They are attracted to women, but they can't stand a fucking woman.
Hold up, say it one more time.
It's a lot of niggas that come from this fatherlessness that on the surface, like, I ain't gay, I'm not attracted to men, I'm a heterosexual male, but I can't stand bitches. Like, I pursue them with the intent to fuck and engage with your physical.
I can see
but
that.
talking to you hoes,
Like, bitch
sitting
make me
up,
sick.
yes,
Bitch make me sick. Like, shut
Because
the
of his
fuck
mama?
up.
Yep, because of
Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear shit you got. Shut the fuck up, man.
That's
how that shit be. I'm
18 years.
bitch you can't even talk to. Like, I can't even talk to you.
And you can't attract you. I'm finna tell you something.
100.
Yeah, no, he ain't lying. He ain't fucking lying.
You know, people they try to. What we gonna talk to her about?
Yep.
Like, that's why you see most of the women like men. I can't like I don't want to show this side because you can get really frustrated. Yep. Feeling like, yeah, you actually think like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That shit
you
fuck
bro,
you can't fathom.
You can't penetrate. She ain't gonna let you influence her. When you look at the family unit that she go get advice from, when y'all talk about y'all problems, all women. None of them ain't got no man. Nobody ain't got no successful marriage. Every bit of what's driving her has to do with being independent while she's saying she want to be in a relationship with you. So then what you do is I start watching you more than I pay attention to myself. So I'm watching all your moves, how you use with your phone, your schedule, just looking for shit because I can't sit with my own thoughts.
It's cold. It's cold.
And then I'm telling you, when you a lot of these grown men coming from single mother-headed households, they ain't have no father during their upbringing, no actual male influence. You get to the point where you realize, like, I be wanting to slap the shit out of a bitch. Like, because from my perspective, like, I don't know how to really process as a man, and she acting like a man. Niggas, and men know this. Y'all run out of words to a certain extent.
Yes.
Like, in an argument, a nigga gonna reach that cap.
Because you already done touched me. You done touch me like your words done touch me like a lick.
Yeah.
See, some niggas be fucked up to the point where they don't know how to control themselves either. Yep. The best thing to do, what camera? Where the camera at? The best thing to do is eject yourself from that.
Yes.
Because you're not gonna be able to. If you know you can't control certain emotions, you gotta remove yourself.
Yep.
That's the best way.
Because the back and forth is only gonna escalate.
Because I'm gonna tell you, women, we could go for days in arguments. We come up with clever shit, make up shit, take shit out of our imagination, whatever.
Most men can't.
Nigga go.
I am clutch. I am the difference maker. I am the game changer. Make this moment the moment of truth about yourself. Many of you have been selling yourself short all of your life. You have the opportunity to experience more environmental, physical, and mental abundance. Someone who is in a constant state of elevation. Their self-talk is, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I know where I came from. I want to continue the conversation of self-awareness. You know, there are a few quotes that I love I want to share with you as it pertains to the conversation of self-awareness. And the quote is, there is definitely a direct connection between finding your passion and reaching your potential. You will never fulfill your destiny doing work you despise. Passion gives you an advantage over others because one person with passion is greater than 99 who have only an interest. Passion gives you energy. Are you aware of what you are doing with your day-to-day time, your grind? Do you like your current relationships? Do you like your circle of influence? Do you like your wardrobe? I think a lot of us, we are programmed to hold on to things that we no longer like. The time is now to step into a place of diligence, hustle, humility, and hunger. The future belongs to the hungry, the humble, the hustler. These are those that will take the throne. There is a new breed of Mamba mentality game changers that in every room that they step in, they are agents of transformation. They are 30,000 feet above the noise. They are architects, pioneers, innovators, students, athletes, lawyers, doctors, a salary law. Their new mentality will emerge inside of you. Elevated people know who they are. They know what they believe, the role in life they are presently filling, their great personal potential. When you are self-aware, you need to be extremely cognizant of your evolution and the fact that you're going to change, the fact that you're not going to be the same person you are. It's a very dangerous thing to be in a place where you are growing, but your life is not.
Alabama fought the Supreme Court to have access to white women. So black men were never really bought into this black love notion, but black women have been. So now you have it where the community as a whole, both black men and black women who condemn and shame black women who even think about going outside of their race. We're called bed wenches, we're called traitors, we're called every name under the sun, everything but a child of Christ. So at the end of the day,
so just let me interject here for a moment, Cynthia G. I think that you're correct. It's wrong to shame anyone. People should be able to love who they want to love, and no shade, no shame. At the same time, I don't think it's fair to say black men haven't bought into the concept of black love, or that black men sued to get access to white women. I think they sued to have the same choice that you want to have, which is to love who they love.
Well, the fact of the matter is we can say they had a choice to love who they want to love, but essentially black men were petitioning the Supreme Court to specifically have access to white women. So, I mean, we can try to act like that's not the case, but the case on the docket.
The vast majority still marry black women. But let's go.
They don't. That's another lie that we're sold. We're sold that the vast majority of black men marry black women.
The data do show that.
But they do.
Well, the data shows that of the small percentage of black men who do get married, that small percentage marry black women.
But here's the thing. Most black men, Ms. Brooks wants to make a comment. Cynthia G, why don't you go ahead and answer the question about why you're tired of black men, so then Janet Brooks can come in because she really has a comment.
So what I'm more tired of than black men is this notion of holding black women hostage to black men. Because typically when we have the discussion, we're not thinking about whether or not black women's dedication to black men actually benefits black women. Statistically, it does not. So more so than me being tired of black men, I'm more tired of this notion that black men have to be rooted to men who really, quite frankly, have nothing to offer them except their blackness.
Okay, that's a lot right there. Ms. Brooks, go ahead.
First of all, there are no absolutes. I don't want anyone taking black women and putting them all in one category as absolutes. But I will say this, and I'm going to start with us as black women. We as black women have to learn to love ourselves and teach people how to treat us. We can't blame black men for the things that we allow. Like, he's dating 3 different women and you're okay. Or, he's married, but you're dating him. And I'm going to speak from a black woman's perspective. I don't blame black men for that. I blame us for taking it. We have to take a stand and think better of ourselves and put ourselves on a different level, whether you're white, Latino, whoever you decide to date, you're going to get the same thing. If you don't make changes in the way you treat yourself and the way that you look at yourself. And it has to start with black women.
I feel like
this is the problem.
Hold on. I feel like I need to bring in activist Justin Blue. I feel like it's crazy having all these women arguing about black men and not letting the brother speak. Go ahead, Mr. Blue.
I identify far more as a life coach than activist. I'm just a black man who happens to care and is able to do things about it. But there was a statement regarding black men holding black women hostage. And I think that's very interesting to explore, because how are black men holding black women hostage regarding marriage and dating? And in what resources and what position of power are we in to control those sorts of things? Now, when it comes to marriage, who normally gets on their knee and requests to say, you know what, I want this person to be my wife or my husband? Who's requesting marriage? Who tends to have that decision? I'll ask everyone present.
Well, men do, but men request marriage, but we know statistically black men in the large majority do not get married. And what I was going to say is that It's not just black men that seek to hold black women hostage to black men. It is also black women or elder black women who seek to give us this notion of no pain, no gain. You need to sit in a relationship with black men, struggle, earn him, prove that you're worthy of his affections. And I think that's not healthy for black women. If you look at reports like the Brookings Institute that is detailing that black women would be wanting to date and marry black men is keeping them rooted to poverty. It is making black men very arrogant and narcissistic, because essentially what they're doing is black men are running around displaying their disloyalty. They're publicly disclaiming how they prefer any woman other than a black woman.
Got it. Justin, I'm going to give you the last word real quick here before we continue this conversation. I'm loving it.
It's this. Okay, to say that black men aren't choosing black women and that black men are holding black women hostage, and what ability do they have to hold black women hostage, right? If we're going to look at other men and say, okay, this is the answer, how many of them are saying, would you be my wife? Will you marry me? And so there's a relatively small percentage, especially when it comes to white men, that are actually dating outside their race as well.
This is how black men hold black women hostage. This right here, by basically moving into the narrative that no one wants you.
Cynthia G, I need you to hold that thought. Yes, it's a hot topic and we've got a lot more of it. Should black women be dating outside their race? We will continue on Fox Soul TV. Welcome back. I'm Dominique DePrima, filling in for Tammy Mack on Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. As you can see, it is on, and our topic today is it time for black women to date outside their race? I want to go right to Dr. Cheryl Giudice. It got a little heated here. This is such a controversial topic. Why is it so emotional? And balance us, center us, if you would, Dr. Giudice.
Well, I hope I can be of help here. First of all, the main reason it's such an incendiary topic really goes back to racism. In this country, there right now, and of course it's been that way for some time, there are far more black women than there are black men. So rather than us engage in a conversation where we're mad at each other, I think we need to recognize that the real source of our anger is racism in this country. And from age 16 forward, black women began to outnumber black men. And the same thing has not happened to whites to around age 32. So what that means is that for black women, we are the only group of women in the country that can't take for granted that if we wish to marry and have children with a black man, that there will be one available to us, irrespective of any other condition we might want to talk about that this man brings to the table. The second thing is I must say that in all the 20 plus years that I have been researching this topic, I have absolutely nothing that I can say that would differ black men from any other group of men in terms of how they select people to date. All black men are doing in terms of who they try to date is what every other group of men I know do. They do the same identical thing. For black men, immediately I noticed people started talking about we have additional problems. Yes, you do, because of racism in the country. You don't have the same opportunities as other groups of men. But that's no reason for us to put each other down. We all recognize what we are going through. In terms of statistics, if you look at the year 2013, of those black men that were married, only 25% married outside the race. And quite frankly, I am happy to report that during that same time period, looks like I'm getting a problem with my machine. Anyway, during that same time period, there were only 12% of black women that were married outside of the race.
Yeah, I just want to interject here that, I know what the statistics show and we can talk about numbers. I just don't appreciate the scarcity mentality where it's like we have to fight over these black men. Right. What's yours is what's for you is for you, and what's not for you is not for you. I mean, I take that from a spiritual perspective. You only need one. You don't need you don't need thousands, you don't need hundreds.
But here's the question that I want to pose. How does it benefit black women?
But I need love too. She just basically said, why
we can blame it on racism, and racism is a part of the problem. But the research that I looked at, some of it, even some of yours, Cheryl, it's not just mentioning racism, it's mentioning black men not wanting to educate themselves and black men not having the economic wherewithal to where they can actually support a family.
Cynthia G, so you seem to be blaming the black men for their conditions. I think when we talk about racism, we're we're talking about lesser opportunity to educate themselves, sometimes being the first one in the family to try to go to college, maybe not having the foundational skills to educate themselves based on their schools. But let's pivot back to women because this is about us. Let's pivot back to women because this is about us and our choices. Why is it that you think Black women have so much trouble dating in this country? What is that about? Spread the love here a little bit. Let's go to Janet Brooks for a moment, and then Cynthia G, you can chime back in.
And just realizing that Black women are able to maneuver better in
our racist system than Black men. I've worked in corporate America and I've seen what happens to educated Black men that they have 3 or 4 degrees. They're only going to allow them to get to a certain point because they don't want to compete. It's not that I say Black men are lazy. Yes, they have not been responsible in many areas, but we can't keep going against each other. I believe that we need Black men. We are Black people. We live in a very racist society. And as it was said earlier, we understand each other. We share a culture. We share a history in this country that no one else shares. Why will we not fight to stay together? It's our counterparts. Without a Black man, there is no Black race.
Cynthia G, go ahead. Why is it?
Man who's less than you, shorter than you, makes less money than you? Absolutely not. Right. I want to work for Google. I go on Google's website. I read the job description. I even try to see if I can set up coffee dates with people who work for Google so I can get a sense of what Google is looking for, because I'm not entitled to a job at Google. Similarly, what I'm asking of our more successful sisters is take time to learn what that guy that you claim you're entitled to actually wants, because you'll be surprised that the thing on your resume that you thought should have got you in the door, Google doesn't care about. And the thing that you might have been neglecting, the bit of experience or the bit of the community service thing that you should have done, that's actually what would have got you the job. And I feel like that's the disconnect a lot of times between.
But that can go to men. That can go for men too.
Absolutely. No, facts.
Excellent explanation of what is lacking. But if you took out women and put just men in there, it is both genders that need to do that. And like I said, I feel like men want to grab those men that are, not at the CEO and the lawyer's level. They need to bring themselves down and understand that, okay, if this is not what's wanting to pursue me right now, then I need to pursue elsewhere. I need to stop expecting this woman to work on herself so she can be ready for me. I need to work on me so that I can be on her radar. She can see me. So it's like excellent point, but
it goes both ways.
People. Absolutely. It's for all of us.
Absolutely. Let's go to her real quick.
We're trained to look at it from that perspective.
Well, when you're trained to learn something,
now you don't learn it.
Get trained to learn something else.
I get that. But what I'm saying is that if the world has a view that if I'm a CEO of a company, right? And then a woman is attracted to me because I'm a CEO of a company. Maybe she's a CEO, right? What I'm saying to you is no different from the celebrity realm. People date within inside of that particular realm, right? So what I'm saying to you is that instead of dating on those particular realms, why not date based on who's the best outfit for you? The janitor could be the best outfit,
right?
But in your mind, you're thinking that this is less valuable, but this could be the one for you versus, I got to date Denzel Washington because I'm Halle Berry.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So the point that I'm making is you can see it fails over and over again. You got plenty of examples. Dating a celebrity doesn't guarantee the success of a happy relationship. It doesn't show up. Dating somebody that has equal amount of value.
Last month, I recorded
a successful relationship.
But it's at the top of people's priorities.
It's at the top of people's priority. But the thing is, that's people continually blinding themselves by that illusion. That's not a real reality. The reality is if you're looking for a love mate, then it should be looked at differently, right? It should be looked at differently, not just from the perspective of what do I have that I can give to someone else and what do they have that they can give me.
Right.
Because see, at the end of the day, it's about love, no matter how you break it down. Finances don't equate to love. So if you're dating based on what I have and what I can provide, right, then you're setting yourself up for failure at the end of the day.
But again, that's men.
Oh, let's go to Aja real quick. She can fix it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The dichotomy is
Oh God. Hey, what I asked you.
I really want to know this because if I had to make it very plain and say, is it better for a black woman in particular, because that's what we're speaking about, to be alone or to marry outside her race? What should she decide to do?
Why are those the only two options? Why could she not find a brother on another continent or consider plural marriage? And going back to the hypocrisy of the radical black feminists who say they cannot be part of a plural marriage, but who would date a married man, there's another phenomenon in the community. And y'all see this. You saw it in high school. You saw it in college. You see it today. The alpha males always have a flock of women around them and interested in them. And guess what? A lot of these sisters who say they don't want to be part of a plural relationship are always part of that queendom around that alpha male. Because at the end of the day, if he got swag and she's attracted, she's not letting another woman keep her from entertaining him. You've seen this, you know this. This is the reality. It's the reality in the animal kingdom. It's the reality in the man kingdom. The alpha males always attract the women, and those women never stop their pursuit because he's in a relationship. They just will never publicly admit.
So listen, I want y'all to come back here, Ron. Did we go ahead and drop that joint?
Oh yeah, we got some people in there now.
So let's go ahead. We got some people that's coming backstage. I want y'all to come on back here.
Almost 2,500 people in the chat live right now, so it's going crazy. We got an instant classic episode with Dr. Umar Johnson.
It's an instant classic
See,
episode.
you got sisters in the chat, right? I travel, right? I'm always traveling. So when I meet sisters, they got to know up front. Well, number one, I have two queens. That's number one. Number two, you won't see me for weeks on end. When I go to Africa, I'm there 30 days straight.
Yeah.
Are you sure you can adjust to that lifestyle? Because the revolutionary lifestyle doesn't lend itself easily to marriage. Dr. King said it, Malcolm said it, Garvey said it. It's not an easy life to be married to a man who could lose his life any moment for what he stands for. But sisters are so attracted to the celebrity of Dr. Umar. They're not looking at the activists. They not even seeing it. All they see is the YouTube and the breakfast. No, I could lose all this. So if you come to me for that, then this relationship is being built on quicksand. Can you go them days without me? And can I trust that when I'm not in America, somebody else ain't eating cookies out of my cookie bag? You see how that works?
Yeah.
Which takes me to another point. Emotionally damaged people are always sexually promiscuous. Let me say this again. If you are traumatized, if you are emotionally damaged, you are promiscuous. And do you want to know why?
Why is that?
Emotionally traumatized people require constant validation from others. You married to a woman who's been traumatized, abuse, abandonment, whatever. When you're not around her for too many days, she has to entertain another man because her trauma dictates constant validation. And constant validation means I must have a man in my personal space. You ever date a woman who was crazy about you? She absolutely loved you, so you thought. It was really addiction.
Yeah.
When you finally let her go, when you finally got her to stop stalking you, she ended up with another man like that. And your ego took a hit. You said, wait a minute. I know that woman was crazy about me. Climbed in my window, came to my... You understand? She was she was crazy about your presence in her life. And the minute you distance yourself from her life, she found a replacement without a problem. Emotionally damaged people are promiscuous because they cannot go without constant validation.
They need that validation.
They need it. Most of our promiscuous women are damaged women. They're not having sex because they love having sex. They're having sex because they have learned this is the only way I can get a man's attention.
Got a nice car, girl, he live in Buckhead. And, women go in with the anticipation on getting something, and then they find out that they're dealing with a master manipulator. But it ain't just typical that men pursue women to play them. It have to be a concerted effort. It have to be both parties engaging. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the person with the most game and the most manipulation, the most finesse is going to win. Like I'm telling you, brother, I said, I teach my daughters deception.
He said, why you teach your daughters? I said, because I want them to be deceptive. It's because I want them to know the game. So I teach them game. I break down the game to them all the time. Both of my books, The Art of Human Chess, it's nothing but game. People say, well, teach me this. All you got to do is go buy the book, The Art of Human Chess, or go buy Pep Hours Before They Lost Game. Both of y'all read those books.
Yeah.
Y'all know it ain't about pimping. You know, the guy from LA Fitness, he called me one day. He said, Ken, you know, I don't know how you got my number. He said, Ken, your book is very inspiring. I said, oh, you like it? He said, yeah, I like it. I said, wow, that's interesting. He said, because the things that you talk about in your book is the things that I go through in real life. You know what I'm saying? Go to Amazon. You ain't got to buy the book. Just look at all of the, what they call that stuff, with somebody comment.
The reviews.
Reviews. Go look at the reviews.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Ken. When you say you teach your daughters deception, what do you think, if it's one thing, one or two of the most important things that you think you need to equip a young lady with before she goes out there, or even as she's out there dealing with men and dating? What are some of the top things a man needs to make sure he equips his daughters with?
Well, the first thing I teach my daughters, all the glitter ain't gold. You know, you got to teach them first, because, you know, everything is deception. You know, a lot of things that we see, they are illusions. You know, they're not the real thing. I also teach them where there's the least appearance of evil, expect the greatest amount of danger. Most people, they start at your feet and they end up at your throat. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have a practice eye and be forever watchful for deception. You know what I'm saying? Like I write in my book, I say, I say, you know, people that's winning attracts deception. You know, and these people, you know what I mean, they sit back and they plot. You know what I'm saying? People see you with nice things and they plot on you. So in order to be able to ward that deception off of you, you have to be deceptive. I also teach my daughters, I said, when you're weak, appear strong. When you're strong, appear weak. Never let them know what you're thinking. Never let your right hand know what your left hand doing.
That's the art of war right there.
No, that's the art of Ken. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is what I teach all my children.
Right.
And it helps them navigate through life. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be, you know, you have to approach life with boldness. I tell them, always be bold. I talk about that in my book. You know, when you have a bold approach, when you come fearful, you know what I'm saying, people tend to respect that. You know what I'm saying? When you're timid and you're weak, people prey on you. You know, you invite predators when you're weak.
Yeah. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do, by the way, because I want to go ahead and get it popped off early. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drop the link to the actual calls tonight, because again, today.
When we were together, a few months. We were very new. We started off as friends, so our intimate relationship wasn't that long. So we kind of, you know, we built a friendship first.
So you together how long? A couple of months?
Yeah, about I want to say from my birthday, which is March, April, May, June, July, August.
Okay, so how long have you guys been talking?
Over a year, almost 2 years now.
So first time you were together for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And now you've been with him for 2 years.
Oh, I did say how long have we been talking?
Yeah, since the first time.
Yeah. Well, we're not together, but we've, you know, stayed in contact.
I don't understand the question. Are you dating?
Vibration as much. It's like that's a different type of lifestyle. Like I've never experienced someone with like a lot of financial wealth. Like I never had that type of man. So I kind of want that in a way.
How do you know that? Have you been around? You've never had it.
Uh-huh.
Where have you interacted with these men?
I just seen it, like I live in Atlanta, so when I go to Buckhead, I just see like a lot of rich men that are wealthy, and I'm like, wow, like I wonder how it feels to actually live that type of lifestyle with someone like that.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I did.
Did you graduate?
Yeah.
What's your degree?
Dental assisting.
Was it a 2-year degree?
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Okay. So just like going to school, getting into Georgia Tech has one standard, but getting into a junior college has another standard.
Mm-hmm.
But getting into Harvard has another standard.
Right.
You're trying, the kind of men you're talking about, you're trying to get them. You're asking about getting in the top tier of men. Just like trying to get into school, the requirements are heavier because of the payouts.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, do you want the lifestyle or do you want the man?
I kind of want the man because I know like he could provide and I would be okay. Like, cause I don't like working and just.
Okay, but so in other words, you want the lifestyle.
Yeah, and the man. But.
No, the man provides the lifestyle. And everything you talk about is a lifestyle.
Right.
You want a man because you don't want to work.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. How tall are you?
I am 5'4".
Dress size?
Probably size 12.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
215.
Any children?
No, no children.
Your mother and father, were they married?
No, they weren't. My mom actually had me at a young age.
Mm-hmm. How many kids did your mother have?
5.
Okay. All by the same man?
No.
How many different fathers?
It's like 3 different people.
3 different fathers, including yours, or 4 total?
I'm the first one.
No, is there 3 fathers or 5 kids, or there 4 fathers or 5?
It's the 4 fathers of 5. No, it's the 3 fathers of 5.
Okay. So, so you came from a single mother with 5 kids and 3 men.
Mm-hmm.
And like most people, you didn't grow up around these kind of people. They move differently. These men move differently.
Yeah.
And you don't work around them. You don't interact with them. Mm-hmm. You just see the conspicuous consumption. You just see what it is, and you want that.
Yeah.
Okay. In Atlanta, you also see a lot of drug dealers too, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Certain clubs, of course.
Okay. Why not date them?
They're very abusive, disrespectful. Like, they're the type that won't. I feel like, honestly, Black men just don't like me. I don't know what it is.
No, you were doing okay until you put all of us on my category.
Right.
Can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know all Black men. You know, very small set of Black men, so let's not do that with my brothers, please.
Okay.
Would you like me to say that? Would you like Black men to say that about you?
No, I wouldn't. I apologize for that.
So, in other words, but the drug dealers, they got their money.
Mm-hmm.
They got access to their lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
But you don't like what comes with that.
Yeah, the trouble, the watching over your shoulder, like those are the type of.
Mm-hmm.
My mom dated those type of men, and I'm actually trying to drift away from those type.
But what I'm trying to draw a parallel is just like drug dealers conspicuously consume a lot, but you don't like what you perceive comes with dealing with people like that. Men on this side, got a lot of things that come along with it. And what do you think they want from a woman?
To be cooperative and to like the things that you say, like be cooperative and just have
illegal immigrants who get into this country and stand in front of Home Depot or they labor center, they get cooperation from their wives.
Right.
Men across the board want cooperation. But what is one of the first things I say men want from a woman from a physical standpoint?
Want like the physical, like beauty, basically.
Before that,
because you say it, because I don't really.
It's feminine, friendly, cooperativeness. Okay. So automatically you're 200 and some odd pounds.
Right.
That X's you out of the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're 23 and height weight adjusted. Because you know what? Let me do this. So when was the last time you were dress size 6?
Oh, that was when I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
And last year I lost like 60 pounds. I got in a relationship, gained 40 back.
So what's the most you've ever weighed?
The most I've ever weighed was 240.
Okay. And how much do you say you weigh right now?
215.
215. All right. 215. So if we height weight adjusted you to the average man in this country is about 5'9", 3/4, 5'10", so like 6 inches taller than you. Mm-hmm. Height weight adjusted you, that would put you about around 260 pounds.
Oh wow.
So if your weight was, and what I'm saying is if I moved you up to a man's average height, you're almost 100 pounds more than you should be. Right. So at your height, you should be 100 pounds less.
Mm-hmm.
So now, to be honest, when you see the kind of men you're talking about, getting out of these cars with the suicide doors and these sports cars,
right?
Are you seeing large women get out of those cars?
No, only like the skinny girls, like girls that are really skinny.
Well, what does that tell you?
I would have to get to that size, basically. Like,
but more importantly, so I always saw with the fitness component, and if you're youngest, you have no children, you got no reason
There's no excuse. But why don't you want to work?
I don't know, because I want to learn more ways to get like money without spending on my feet. I don't know. It's just something I don't like doing, but I still do it though because I have to keep my type of lifestyle up. So like pay my rent. But it's something about it I just don't like.
Okay. You want children?
Yeah, I do.
How many?
Like 3.
So, man, why, in all honesty, why should you not have to work like everybody else in the world? Because, and here's another question. On a scale of 1 to 10, fresh face.
I do like that you said that typically a lot of that pain, which I never heard brought up before, ends up falling on a child. Because we've seen a lot of households, whether we've seen the version of it in a single mother household, whether we've seen the version of it in just an impoverished household altogether, where everybody just got to be really.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a man going 50-50 with a woman and a man not being in a household whatsoever?
The difference is that the man still sees the human dynamic of a man and a woman in the house. So, which I think there's a level of health in that, assuming that they figured out how to have synergy in that household. But with the man just completely not being present, it could be some abandonment issues in there with, that child not necessarily having that, potentially seeing different men come into the house. It's just so many different exposure with a man not necessarily being there versus, and I don't know, because I think it's levels to 50-50 too. Because I don't know, like maybe if it's like some kind of, Huxtable kind of situation where, they're both at a high level and they're both working in this way. Because that does exist in our society. I would say that. I don't know if I would subscribe that to the 50-50 mindset, but there is the dual household working family that does exist, right? Where the man and the woman is working. For example, we had Dr. Tark come up here, and he said the way they structured it, him and his wife, they're both high income earners. All of his money handles all of the bills that's taking place, and he said his wife's income is just everything that goes into the investments and everything that just kind of gets put away to handle everything for the future, college tuitions, investments, so on and so forth. And that's kind of how they found synergy in their finances. But essentially, y'all, the issue with that is there's still nobody fully at home nurturing the kids.
There we go.
Yeah.
So do you think can that still be healthy?
Listen, you have the man there, right?
Yeah.
He's stressed. You have the woman there. She's stressed. The child, depressed. Now, all the people growing up, not knowing how to love a man or love a woman, we've seen both parents on the plantation or one deeply on the plantation. Something's wrong. We're going against divine order. The reason why you see so many depressed and stressed children, man, because everybody's gone. We're going against divine order. And then we grow up and you tell a man, be 100. I'm not going to be 100. I can't do it. My mom took care of me. No, man. Now, brother, be 100. My dad and my mom was in the house and they both work. I'm like, oh man, this is a disease, a real psychological disease, because it first starts in the mind. For a man not wanting to be a man, something really had to happen. Now we have to go back down deep. When's the first time you seen a man, woman, and child stressed out and all working together? Now we going to slavery, brother. Come on, this is deep-rooted trauma.
It is.
There's no nation that rises higher than their women. None. Most nations protect their women. Oh, you ain't gonna talk about my women. You're not gonna put your hands on my women. You're not gonna disrespect my women.
You're not gonna see them in an inappropriate light.
Man, you're not gonna see them working for nobody else. Maybe their restaurants, their stores, their gas stations, but not for nobody else. We send our women out, man.
Yeah.
To work for other men. And they get mad why these women are respecting their bosses more than they respect their own husband. The boss is doing more. The boss is putting food on the table. The boss is making sure the rent's paid. This is deep, man. This is deep. And this is why the women on the plantation respected the master more than anything else. We got it, man. We got to get right, bro. We got to get
So you think so the healthiest version of this household, of our household, it needs to be the woman full-time
on the throne. On the throne. That's what it is. The throne. Not their slaving. How can a woman produce a healthy child when she's stuck in a state of stress and depression? Majority women are not working the careers they choose. They're working jobs they have to, because they're dealing with a man that can't hold it down.
Now, what about the woman who, because this is the thing, I do support women who want to go out and, they have whatever reason, their type of ambition or level of ambition, leaves the household. Like they want to do something outside the house. That's just what they're driven to do. So I got respect for that. I understand that. But I do think it is a woman out there who has adopted that mindset. Yet it's because she doesn't want to admit how stressed she is really doing this. It's like, wow, are you really happy going to all these conferences and all these different situations with all these men that don't want to respect you initially unless you super hard, trying to hit on you and take you to the back and being inappropriate, which you give you sexual harassment on top of sexual harassment, coming home having to give 10 times what everybody else is giving at your job, more than the white women, more than the black men, more than the white men, right? Why do you think that those women aren't open to seeing things in a new light, to maybe being receptive of potentially being a full-time caregiver?
Because it's a programming. If you've only seen your mom work, you believe it's normal. Just like the man. If the man only see the woman work, the woman gotta be in the field. I know men that say, I'm not dating a woman unless she's working and paying half the bill.
I hear that too, a lot. The thing is, the women are confused. They're very confused because, it's a numbers game. It's difficult to find connection. Now, as a woman, how do you position yourself when you got some men want you to work but don't pay the bills? Some men want you to work and pay the bills. Some men want you to be full-time caregiver.
With the man being a leader. Now, women have had bad experiences. So you have men that will provide 100% financially, but emotionally they're disrespectful, they're physically abusive, they're mentally abusive, they're verbally abusive, but they're paying everything. So they believe their finances allow them to do whatever they want. So you got those women that experience that, I'm never doing that again.
Right.
And then you have the women that's been programmed since a child. You can marry a man, you can have children with a man, but you never trust a man. You always get your own money. And then you have the women that get into relationships with men that can provide everything, but they have careers. So the man can still take care of them regardless of the fact they're just choosing to do something they love.
Wow.
Actually, let's go ahead and close out that poll that you had there because I think we got no votes on that.
And we got the super chats part. Oh my God, the super chats is going
nuts
right now.
Go ahead. Let's
so I'm gonna close out this vote. 321 votes, ladies and gentlemen, and we got 1,300 people in the chat. Minister Yada is going down right now.
Yes.
So this was the poll we dropped. Financial only, right? Which relationship structure do you subscribe to? 50-50 forever, 50-50 until 100% for man, or is based on income? So this is the thing. We got 50-50 until 100% for man at 53%. So it looks like men and women voted on this poll now. It looks like a little bit over half the people are like, look, let's do 50-50 until you in a position to work it out and take everything on your own. But we got these other people. I don't know who these other people are. At 40%, that's saying it's based on whoever makes the most money, pretty much.
Wow, 40%?
40%.
Wow, I'm really shocked by that.
I am too.
I'm really shocked by that. Look, actually, who
was voting on that?
Matter of fact, we're 36 minutes in, so let's activate.
Oh man, okay.
Let's activate this members only chat, and also let's go ahead and let's get to some of these super chats because the people are asking questions. We want to get to y'all because I don't want them to pile up a little too much.
Did you see Anthony Logan? Shout out to Anthony Logan. We actually did an episode with him. He's in the Hardly Initiated catalog. Anthony sent over a super chat. I want you to read that one because I want y'all to give us some insight on that mindset.
Wait, these things are piling. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check.
Hey, be patient with us, y'all. I'm about to cut on this members only chat. This thing the members been asking for. So I know if you subscribe, listen, we appreciate you. We love you. If you like it, you share it. We still love you and appreciate it. But the thing is, we have to grow our family of initiates. They've been riding for us. They've been supporting us. They've been guiding the channel. They the ones who told us to bring Essence Atkins on the show, which we dropped yesterday, did 130,000 in 24 hours. So I have to show love. Oh, what did I say?
130,000 people. Don't let them get 130,000.
130,000 views.
All right, so Anthony, he said, I'll pay the bills. I'll pay all the bills, but she needs to work. Kids or no kids.
See, okay, so that's what I want to ask you. Because I think Anthony is speaking from a place that's like, look, my goal is to take care of everything, but what the hell is my wife going to be doing? So I want to ask you this, because I think people are confused by this. What does a full-time wife who is not responsible for any of the finances, what does that look like?
Okay.
What does work look like?
So we have to understand that family, the dynamic is the first business. Period. It's the first business. If a person is not successful with the family structure, he will not be successful in life with anything. I don't care. He won't be wealthy. You can't be wealthy without the proper family structure. You might be able to be rich. It might not go down to the next generation, but you can't be wealthy without the proper family structure. So the man is the head. He leads. That doesn't mean he doesn't take understanding from his wife. You know, that's his eyes, his ears, his extra brain. The man is building. The man takes what he builds and gives to the woman. The woman is a divine nurturer by God. By God, my woman doesn't have to go work for somebody else. Why? Because I'm gonna give her a company to nurture. When I put this demonstration down, this blueprint down, I made my first $1 million. First million. My first. Because I understand what we do with the woman. So you're leading, you're building, you're creating. You're also guiding your woman's mind. She's nurturing, she loves you, you're on the same team. Now you created this, you give to her, she nurtures, you're onto something else. If you're doing everything by yourself, if you're waking up and just going to work, and you're waking up and you're going to work, and she's waking up and she's going to work, no one's going to win. I've never seen two people working jobs they can't stand become wealthy. Never. They've been stuck in poverty the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. Why? Because the blueprint is messed up, brother. We think that we as men, we believe that we need a woman to help us provide. God didn't give that woman to us for that. And that's why we're stuck the way we are. We can't elevate because we don't understand what she's used for. The woman is a magic wand, brother. The woman is truly a gift from God. She's a divine nurturer, but the stuff we give her to nurture is stress. We give her depression to nurture. We give her attitudes to nurture. And then we get mad when she's in a state of chaos and disrespecting us because we gave her all these things to nurture. Give her something great to nurture. Don't have her on the field. She's going to be tired. Now she can't even nurture and take care of you. We have to get right, man.
I never well, see one thing we haven't talked about, and I like that you brought this up. You said it's the family business. We don't understand that.
The first business.
And see, let me tell you, first of all, the reason we don't see is because most of our parents wasn't really running the family business right. They didn't put us on game at how family business should look.
Mm-hmm.
So if a brother grew up in a house where he saw his mom working, that is what is normal. So on a day-to-day basis, I guess at this point, like he literally can't even envision what her day looks like. He imagined her eating potato chips, sitting down, watching soap operas,
doing nothing,
spending money on Amazon, and him coming home and stressed out, tired, and her just
but see, this is a man that needs to really sit down and realize what a man truly is. We don't know what a man is to ourselves. So if we don't know who we are, we're going to think she's sitting home eating bonbons all day. No, a woman has a divine job, man. Her job isn't easy and it doesn't stop. It's 24 hours around the clock. And then you have some men that even have pregnant women working at 6 months, man.
Ooh, yeah,
don't go into
please,
it. I seen that. I'm not gonna
like looking at them like when you going back to work and can you work a couple more months type deal.
I don't even like seeing pregnant.
Man, it's not that, but think about it. Then they give birth. I'm talking. This is some pain a man can't even comprehend.
Yeah.
I delivered all my children. I've seen what my woman went through. I'm like, oh no. And then I see how long it takes her to heal. I'm seeing women right after they give birth go right.
Hold on.
No.
You got it, Mike. Get it right. Go ahead, Lionel.
We good?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing.
Let me tell you. I'm like, yo, you was really shocked. I'm like, you was really hurt by that. I'm like, wow, okay, he passionate about this.
No, I want you to keep going.
No, brother, it's the fact that we're watching women right after they give birth go right back to work. Don't you know a child needs to skin with their mother? Don't you know the child needs the breast milk from their mother for their immune system to work at the top level? It does something to them psychologically, spiritually.
The value is not really understood of what that full-time caretaker looks like. I shout out to Stefan Arnio who passed away. He wrote The Queen, the Oracle, the Princess, and the Whore, and he talked about that the woman working full-time in a household, it should be valued at, I want to say, is $80,000 a kid, right? That's what the value.
Okay, it's something like that.
Yeah, within the household. That's the monetary or annual value in terms of salary per kid for a woman when she's working full-time in a household.
Right.
So if your woman got 3 kids, that's what $270,000 is what she should be valued at if it was like a corporate job.
And I think that's where the brothers are struggling because all they seeing is the numbers on the bills, and we don't really know how to put the value on actually sitting with a child and teaching them how to count. Like sitting with a child and making sure that this child is not being parented by the iPhone or the iPad, but this child at a very early age can walk really fast. Like you'll notice that the kids that even have a mother at home, they walking faster, they talking faster,
yes,
they counting, they're reading faster than other kid. Yes, like they have this level of wit, and their development is sped up. But see, it's very hard to quantify the value of these things. And just as in general, I don't think we put a big value on family in general as a culture, because really we just throwing our kids in daycare and public school systems and putting iPhones in front of their face, and that's a big part of how we raise that child.
Because we stepped away from divine order. We turned this beautiful woman that was divinely a gift from God into a whore. We turned her into a baby making machine. Yeah. We disrespected her, left her unprotected on each and every level, and now you're seeing a product of
us not protecting and guiding her. And that's is what you see. Broken men, not knowing how to be loved, and broken women not knowing how to be loved by men. This comes from the home, brother.
Let's actually talk. I'm gonna hit some of these super chats.
Yeah.
While you doing what you do, Ryan?
It's going crazy right now. So listen, shout out to everybody who sent over the birthday wishes. Yes, November 24th just passed. I am officially 35 years old. All praises. And the eligible bachelor, by the way. Strong man. Day by day, baby. And look, 100%.
You better be on 50-50.
Oh, praise from day one. So shout out to BJ, shout out to JP, and shout out to Crystal Garderis for sending over that bomb super chat. And I got a couple other ones. Soy, I'm gonna get to yours. There's so many I want to get to, but I want to stop with this one real quick. Yali just sent in one, and I'm gonna go to Soy because she's got a really good one. Yali says, all of the women that I know who financially needed to go back to work after starting their families all fell into deep depression. So you got this guy that you're talking to, and you telling him, you asking him about all these things that his wife is doing. You asking her if she cooks, she take care of him, and she also working 16-hour days.
Right.
So clearly, this is a man who may not have noticed some of the signs that his woman was actually having some mental struggles.
Let me just add on, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Let me cut you off in a righteous way, brother. Excuse me. Excuse me. First, we have to understand when after women give birth, they lose so many minerals and vitamins. They become malnourished. So now if they're malnourished and they're stuck in a stressful environment, depression sets in. Deep down, anxiety set in. Now they don't even want to touch their child. They're always crying. They're looking at their man like, you say you love me, but you got me going through this. I don't think men really sit back and say, what is my woman going through? After giving birth, losing all this blood, she's malnourished, she's not eating correctly. I'm not being able to connect with her on an emotional level because I don't know how. I never seen my father do it to my mother or my mother do it to another man. These women are, they hurting, man. And all these women needed some love. All these women needed some protection. And most women don't even want a man to do 100. They'll be comfortable with 55, 60. And men don't even know how to do that. They can't even say, baby, thank you for helping me. Baby, thank you for making my food. Baby, thank you for giving me children. Baby, thank you for just loving me. Because most men struggle with loving themselves. That's why we can't love no woman. We can't project the love. We don't know how to love ourselves. And that's why you say, man, be 100. It's not the fact that they just want to be 50-50. They don't know nothing else. And they hurt and they feel ashamed. That's why they're triggered. They know deep down inside, I should be doing more. You're looking at the woman that just gave you a child. A woman that tells you, I love you. A woman that literally, right after pushing out a baby for you, went on the workforce for you to prove how much she loves you and her family. The nature of a woman, the loyalty of a woman is godly, man. But we're robbing them. We're robbing them of their true self, their true enjoyment. And that's why you see these women and these children all walking around depressed because the woman is the first teacher. Now, what is she teaching them?
Let me tell you, if I would have heard this kind of talk growing up, I probably would have been married already. Because every time I hear a man speak like this, I only think about getting a wife. I mean, it's like, I'm like, yeah, I want a woman to be able to take care of like that. That gets me extremely excited. Now, the thing is, part of the reason why we started the show is because we know we need to hear it constantly.
No, we need all of us
to hear it constantly.
We need to hear this.
Because I think it's something about that that's so empowering because it does give you a glimpse into what the next level looks like as a man. And I think that's partly a part of the reason why so many men go into this midlife crisis. Because after they have accumulated the finances and some level of status, right, and some level of structure for themselves, now they don't know what else is next. So they go to, you know what, now that I have this financial capability, instead of taking on more responsibility, not just more responsibility, the right type of responsibility, which is stewarding over a wife and a family, let me go get a convertible. Let me go get the Harley. You know what I mean? Let me start doing all these things that I think I missed out on rather than take the next step into manhood. Right. So I really feel empowered by what you're saying, and I want to actually shout out to Soy. Shout out one of the hardcore initiatives. Yeah, sent over a real thought-provoking situation because she says, shout out to Soy Raina. She says we're talking about this without making the line clear of whether this is in marriage or not. So talk about this topic in dating and not living together, okay, versus being in the marriage, because a lot of women want 100% to zero and they're just dating. So I guess to kind of rephrase it is, when is a woman deserving and should expect to get this level of taking care of?
As soon as she says, I'm your woman, that means I'm your responsibility. Because
that could be pre-marriage.
Because if we're dating, yeah, we're about to get married. What am I entertaining you for? I'm a man. I got too much going on. I don't have time for those distractions. So if I'm entertaining you, it's for you to be a wife. So if you say, yes, I'm yours, I'm loyal to you, you're my responsibility. Because I want food when I want it, because I'm working hard. She has to be soft. She can't be tired. Men will have these women working 8-9 hours with them and then say, baby, can you make some food for me? Baby, can you rub my back? No, man, it doesn't go like that. 50-50 men don't deserve what 100 men deserve. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean that's very clear.
Honestly, that's extremely
very clear.
That's extremely clear, and it makes a lot of sense because it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. Like, I can't imagine that at the point of marriage, right when you say I do, all of this stuff just magically kick in.
Right.
Like, it is a point where the responsibility kicks in well before. Like, you don't the relationship really, the marriage. Don't get me wrong. It's the union. It's the ritual that we take place to solidify what has happened. But we've already been acting in this prior to the actual ceremony itself. You know. So I think that's a really great answer. Let's run through a couple more of these super chats before we get to the initiation hotline, Ryan.
Okay, cool. So we got another one. Shout out to Ashley Boone for sending over the super chat. Shout out to Creole Butterfly. Great question, Creole. She says, how do I heal while currently in a relationship where my significant other refuses to provide according to the divine order, even though he is able? This is tough.
My real answer, can I be honest?
You can be absolutely honest. We need that.
If this has been going on for a long time, this is just the man he is. You either accept it or you leave him. That's it. That simple. You either accept him or leave him. Me, I would say leave him. That's just me being honest. But hey.
Well, I mean, at that point, you just already, if you stay in that relationship, you just understand the scope of work that's going to come, with that relationship. And I think, the ladies are really just, may have had, a lot of ladies are not having the best experiences dating.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's a true, something is better than nothing.
No, let's do this.
Situation.
Let's do this. Ladies, my beautiful, beautiful sisters. Stop pouring so much into men just because they have potential. Because when they show you that they're not going to be who they are, you've already invested so much that you will feel dumb if you left them. People would talk about you if you left them. You've done invested in them financially. You've done invested in them physically, mentally, spiritually. You've been pouring into these men for so long, praying that they become better. Leave them, cut them off, throw them away. It's over with. It's over with. These are not leaders. These are leeches. It's a difference.
Now, let me ask you this, because this is an interesting situation here. Do you believe that every woman deserves an 100% man?
No. If you cannot maintain 100% man, what are you gonna do? Can you cook? I don't want McDonald's and Wendy's when I come home or when I fly back into the country.
Nah, that's a fact.
I want someone that knows how to maintain the children. I want someone that knows if I give you a lump sum of money, man, listen, for instance, my wife, I left her, she said, baby, I need such and such amount of money. I said, okay, cool. I came back to a whole mansion, brother. A whole mansion. That's the type of men, that's the type of women that men like me need, or men that go 100%. But I will say this too. Men will attract what they are. Women will attract what they are, or, because we got some men that's some great pretenders. We got some great actors out here.
That's true.
Unless they get emotionally caught up before they realize it's lies. Now they're invested. So they'll stay with a liar.
Interesting.
Extremely.
So I think that's a really good question to ask yourself, because we got a lot of ladies in the chat, of course, saying facts. I just want you to reflect on whether or not because we got to be honest with ourselves. Right. Or can we maintain a kingdom?
All praises.
Can we grow and nurture a kingdom?
All praises.
Have we done the work on ourselves in that way?
All praises.
That's some hell of a self-reflection.
And then here's another thing. Then there's so many women, and I love you, sisters. I really want you to understand. I love you guys with a passion. There's so many women that's been masculine for so long, that's dwelling their masculine for so long. Even if they meet a man that's willing to do everything, they don't know how to put down their shields, their swords. Nah, man, they got to learn how to be.
Listen, I agree with that so much, man. Let me ask you this, because shout out to Juanita Crispin. Not only did she join the initiative, but she also sent over a super chat. And I actually want Tyshawn to share a story about this. And I'm sure both y'all can chime into this, because you've spoken, I'm sure in the past month, you've probably spoken to the king of 50-50 relationships, whoever that might be, and all his cronies. But anyway, so Juanita says it should be 50% of each person. She says, if I make 60K and my husband makes 100K, it's not fair for me to have to pay half when we are not bringing in the same income. Now, that's more so overcoming, okay? But I want you to describe, actually, and I want to start with Tyshawn, because you mentioned this. Describe, because I don't think all women really know what a 50-50 man looks like. Yeah. I don't really think. So I want you to describe it. You remember, you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, I've seen it on the pettiest levels. Man. Because this is a brother who truly believes that regardless of circumstance, of income, whatever the quantifiable numbers are that it takes to run a household, you are to bring 50% of that amount of income to the pot where you are not contributing to this family. And I've seen it so much speaking to ladies. You talking about I've had guys like aggressively contact women. Like, hey, remember that time when you had your card? When we was at dinner? Yeah. I need that $12.50 because I remember I paid the whole thing and I tipped because you didn't have your card and you said you was gonna put it down and you didn't. So I need that $12.50, please. You want to you want to know the fastest way to just? I'm sorry, I was about this to after dark, but to dry a woman up. I mean, to just completely turn her off and to just completely lose all intimate interest in you as a man is to just be a penny pinching brother. And I'm giving y'all the pettiest levels of this, but again, this is a brother who expects a woman for the long term of the relationship to bring half of whatever the financial contribution is to, carry out whatever lifestyle it is they want to carry out. This is the 50-50 brother, but go ahead, Ryan.
So yeah, I mean, I just thought that was because at the most pettiest levels, this person they really holding you accountable. Like, hey, did you pay your half of the bill yet? Babe, listen, I've been paying my half of the bill on time on the first every month. It's the second of the month. Why can't you pay your bills on the first of the month?
But see, these are roommate. These are not even wives. These are not even. They're not claiming these women, because when a man claims a woman, he'll go to war and hot water for her. So if a man's not willing to work for you, how can he even say it's love? How can a man say I love you, but baby, you gotta go out here with me too? You gotta go to war. No, we're not moving like that, man. They got the game messed up. They're hurt, they're broken, and they're confused. And these aren't men. These aren't men. They think they're men. They look like men. They sound like men. They can go to jail like men, but these aren't men.
So y'all, let me tell you. So because we got you on the show, let me take a look at this thing. We got 1,700 people live in the chat, and the thing about it, y'all, the chat is getting so crazy. We just don't get just the average viewer or initiate in there.
Yeah,
we get people in the space in the chat that have become members. So shout out to Anthony Logan, shout out to SBU Live, and shout out to my man Anton Daniels. I'm not sure you're familiar with Anton Daniels, but he actually has a popular YouTube channel and platform in the space as well. And I'm gonna read this comment, especially because he shows so much love with his $100 super chat. But he says, love this show, but this is hilarious. Great platform. Love the simping. We gotta open the phone lines, man.
Shade.
He saw us that shade.
There's some shade coming here.
I hope you're hearing this right now. I hope you at the studio, because I will be very curious to bring you up on the call and get your perspective on this. Because go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, yeah, absolutely.
Jack, can we speak on this real quick for a second, please?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lionel, go ahead. Go ahead. Pull up the initiation hotline. It's time to go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and let's put the link in there. Y'all come on up. I want Anton in here to come up here and chop it up with us here, just to give. Listen, I want mature men.
Yes.
If you can maturely have a conversation with and you disagree, I'm okay with that. And any ladies that are currently in or have had a 50-50 situation, I want you to be able to come up here as well.
Tell us what it looks like. Tell us what concerns, what questions that you have for y'all. I know a lot of y'all are dating men trying to figure out which philosophy or which structure is the best, which one you're gonna sign up to. I know it's women that are currently in relationships that are having issues with the philosophy that they have agreed to, committed to. Even some of those women have accepted a ring on their finger on the philosophy that they completely disagree with. And I just generally know it's men that are not fans of this particular philosophy that Yada is putting down. So only this thing, and we don't want you to come up here if you don't have no talking points behind what you stand on.
Yes,
otherwise you just a troll.
Yes,
so please don't come on here and be uneducated, because we're gonna kick you off.
We need your age, your location, and I want the perspective brief. And listen, y'all, we say it brief and brilliant. Ryan, I went ahead and put that in the chat. I put that in the chat for you. So you guys come in. I need your cameras on, because I'm only going to bring people up that got the cameras on, got their lighting together, and are prepared to speak. So go ahead, guys, and come on ahead. It is video. The initiation hotline is video. We got the link in the chat. Ryan is about to pin it. I dropped it in here a few times. You click that link, you come and put your name, and I will let you bring you on stage, and we'll have a conversation.
We got
in the meantime,
drop that hotline blink again. I love that, man. Drop that Drake.
So here's what we're gonna do. Let's get while people are coming in here, let's go ahead and take another super chat, because we gotta. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shout out Crystal here. Shout out to Crystal. Is that Galdarici? That's it. Galdarici.
Yeah. Look, we got the Espanol going in the Spanish name.
Queens are the second most powerful piece on the board. Her main job is to protect the king. I know many may not agree, and it is okay. Big shout out.
Yeah, just a lot of comments going in. Shout out to Lady K's Kitchen, highly blessed. Shout out to K2. Shout out to Qualamia Collins, or it could be Kayla Maya, depends if you're in East Atlanta or not. Shout out to Shot T. Shout out to Kiana Channel, Key, Kara, Michelle, Crystal, Anthony, everybody joining the YouTube membership, the Initiate family. And shout out to Jalela Allen. I don't know if y'all seen that episode, but I think it was it Pimp and Ken that we had on the show?
Yeah.
We had Jalela calling. Was that the same show?
No. That was Dr. Darius Daniels.
She called Dr. Darius Daniels episode. This
big
young
shout
lady
out.
is
20
years old, watching the platform.
That's a little sis.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Jalela. This might be a 20-year-old question right here. Let me ask this question real quick. What would you suggest? Shout out to Jalela. What would you suggest for a couple where the woman works but the man stays at home? What would you say? See, that's what he's embarrassing. So basically, what would you say about the dynamic in the terms of how he can still present himself as masculine? Is that even possible? Is it possible to be masculine and be
that's the house
full
husband?
Time, the house husband?
Honestly, the house husband.
I mean, I used to work at Old Navy, so I used to be able to hit that perfect fold. So maybe they could hit the perfect fold. You know what I'm saying? They had them shirts and the socks laid out. Is that cool? That's not cool?
Oh, the funny thing is, let me tell you, I know it's about to go down. My man Anton, I think he just came up in here.
Uh-oh.
So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna bring Anton
Shout out
to
to
the
the
stage.
influencers who taking part of this conversation, which I really love. That's a platform for you where just in the chat.
Anton, welcome to the platform.
What's going on?
What up, Anton?
Exactly.
You calling us simps on the platform? Come on, man. That's not how we start the relationship, brother.
You gotta try to hit us with a compliment sandwich.
Come on now.
I love y'all. Imps.
A lot of the conversations that y'all been having lately is based off of simp behavior. I think that you can have both. I think that you can both be incredibly masculine, but I don't like the idea how we trying to diminish the value of men when you're trying to compare them to or have a conversation based off of relationships. You can have both. You can have incredibly masculine men. Well, let's start here. First of all, I don't even understand the whole idea of 100-0, 50-50. None of that even makes sense. It's supposed to be 100-100. Okay? You're supposed to be given 100% of everything that you have as a man and as a woman into a relationship. What is this 60-40, 50-50? Men pay for 100% of it. Women have always worked. Now, they may have not always brought in resources specifically into a household, but a woman has always worked. And in a society where you're talking about we've advocated for equal, and then we're not including into the conversation and inherent risks that come along with, or all of the problems that come along with family court, when you're talking about women that advocate against family court, but then at the same time are advocating for a man to operate in a traditional role, which one do you want? Do you want to bring in resources? Because let's be very clear. Unless a woman is having multiple children and she's raising those children prior to those children becoming students and going to school full time, or she's homeschooling them, the majority of women that have children going to school full time and that are not working are not doing anything inside of their households. They are often at times waiting for men at the finish line and then saying, what is it that you can do as far as being a man in order to cover me? But then they're not actually adding additional value into the conversation by then adding value into the man, because a woman's inherent role is to be a helpmeet, meaning that she has to fall under the vision of a man. So to completely absolve them of the responsibility that comes along with what it takes in order to be a wife. See, we keep talking about what men are. Men are inherently leaders. And we're not talking about what it takes or what you're supposed to be vetting for a wife, right? Because women are not even supposed to be dating. The problem in these conversations is that people don't even really understand what courting means. They don't understand what it means in order to find a wife. And as a person that's been married for over 20 years, and my entire family is married. All three of my brothers have never found divorce. My father, until his untimely demise, was married all the way up until he passed away in 2017, and then my mother found another husband that's very similar to him. All 9 of my uncles have never gotten divorced from their wives. I think that there's a blueprint to what it takes in order to be successfully married, but we're not having the conversation in truth because we're so busy trying to hold men accountable when we're not really understanding the dynamics by which people are dating, because you're not supposed to be dating in order to find a wife in the first place. So very few people really understand what it means to actually be married, and very few people understand what it means to actually be successfully married, because there's a difference.
Hold tight, Anton, because you got something. Listen, you firing off the points. But I'm very curious to hear what Yada has to say about the comments that you just made. Then I got some question for you, Anton.
All I can say first is, man, all praises is due completely to the Most High. It's just sad that when a man is a provider for a woman he loves and his children, takes care of his home, removes her worries, and tells brothers, hey, I believe if you say you love a woman and she's your woman, you should provide for her. It's called simping. I don't even think these brothers know the definition of simping. I think they might need to Google it. Can we Google simping right now? Let's
take a look at it. We're going to take a look at it. Hold tight, Anton.
Definition for simping?
It has to be. And I'm going to be the researcher here.
All right, yeah, so let's actually look at it right now.
Oh, man. I got my Philippine search engine coming up. Help me out over here, Ty.
I think it says, for simp definition, wow, this is Merriam-Webster. To show excessive devotion to or longing for someone or something.
Excessive devotion.
Wikipedia got a simp is in this slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention toward another person, typically someone who does not Someone who does not reciprocate the same feelings in pursuit of sexual relationship.
Now, see,
hold on. Is that now ask the brothers again. They using words, and we're gonna keep moving, but they're using words which they don't understand. Now a brother can say he's been married for 20 years. I know brothers have been married for 50 years, but when I talk to their wives, they're highly broken, upset, and depressed. I'm not sure who this brother is. I've never heard of him before in my life, but he sounds bitter. He sounds like he's been brokenhearted. Maybe the first person he ever loved hurt him, or he watched his father emotionally abuse his mother. And the reason why I say that, because if a woman's been married for as long as his mother has been married to her father, why would she get remarried? Something about that just doesn't add up. We repeat dysfunction. We say, my father's been married. I've been married. My brothers are married. That means nothing. I know a lot of dysfunctional married couples. The problem is these men don't got no money. And that's the real thing they should say. I'm broke. I'm trying to get my bag up, and this is what it is. You can't come at a man that's wealthy. You can't come at wealthy man that went for the race, but for the trophy. Now we got the trophy and we're dancing and we're saying, ha, 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 ha. We got diamonds and gold on our trophy, and you're looking at yours and your trophy falling apart. Something ain't right with that, brother.
See, and these is ad hominem attacks because instead of him speaking to it, see, the difference is that my mother was widowed. It was an unfortunate accident that ultimately met her demise. The guy that she wound up marrying was a guy that literally walked in because she was working for me. See, I am wealthy. It's a difference, right? I'm not. No. Let me be very clear. I'm not speaking as a man under duress.
Hold on. Right? Anton, let me ask you this.
Well, we're going to go there tonight because see, he's not speaking to the point.
Anton,
he's speaking to a person. It's a different dynamic here.
Anton, listen, we want to keep you on. I want to get some context. You mentioned the multiple marriages in your family. Your family has a lineage of successful marriage. This is what you communicate. Was there a specific structure, financial structure, that was taught to you to be able to run a successful household, or is it each of those marriages could be potentially operating on whatever they individually believe in?
What do you mean by each of those? It is a blueprint by which we live, right?
So what is
because well, let's be clear. My wife hasn't worked for the last 15 years for somebody else, but she very much works for me, and she works very, very hard for me. And she is the beneficiary of my greatness. So let's be very, very clear. We're not talking about living under duress here, right? He's speaking to a specific demographic, but that's not my story. When I speak out of abundance, and I speak biblically also, right? And a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet. She is not supposed to be moving based off of what she thinks makes sense. She's supposed to be falling up under the vision of the man that then leads her, right? But if you're simping, because simp is a word and it does have a meaning, and there's additional context to be added to it, similar to if you want to define friendship, it's not entirely encompassed based off of what you read the definition to be.
But
it's additional context to be added into that. And if we really take into consideration,
Anton, we're confused because you're saying that you've been in a relationship for quite some time.
I've been married for 19 and a half years. I've been in a relationship, married since I was 22 years old. Nobody ever heard me before.
I understood. And 15 of those years, you said that you've pretty much been 100% providing for your wife.
No. I said she hasn't worked for somebody else. Once my child, okay, so this is the dynamic. When I got married, my wife was working full time, right? And in addition to that, she was shooting in the gym, because when we had these conversations, we have to speak to the majority, not the minority. The majority of people that get married, and you do not have to have an abundance of resources in order to get married. The majority of the people that are looking to get married are not millionaires like me and Yada, right? So the difference is that the fact that she did get up under my vision, because two people can pull 10 times their weight versus people looking at it as a 50-50 relationship. What did you bring and what did you bring? We've managed to build wealth and then build a legacy that allows for me to be able to never have my daughter ask for student loans, right? But here was the key. When she had my daughter, we decided that she was going to be a full-time mother until my daughter became old enough to be able to go to school full-time. After that point,
wait, hold tight. Because I understand that. I want to get an idea of what is your current philosophy to maintain the most healthy relationship. Is it 50-50 or is it
100? If she has the ability to work, she should. Because every woman, listen, I'm in a position to where I can leverage her talents much more effectively than an employer could. But if a woman has the ability to work and her kids are going to school full time, she should be working. And she should be bringing 100% of her resources into the household. No man should have it to where you pay the majority of the bills and then she can do whatever it is that she want to do with her money. It's one pot. One pot.
Okay, so Anton, because I understand what you're saying, but I am a bit because Yada, are you not saying the same thing? Are you saying that, hey, if your woman is going to work, she's going to work? With you?
For the family.
For the family, right?
Yeah.
No,
Can I say something, please?
Yeah, of course.
You know, and I'm not sure who this brother is, and you know, I hear his passion.
Yeah.
You know, I hear it. But when he speaks about his wife, he speaks about her like she's an item. She works for me. She's up under me. Oh, that's not how the family dynamic is. And then he's saying, well, you're a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. When I wasn't a millionaire, I took care of my woman 100%. Without finances, I lived in my lane. And that's the topic of the conversation. I can stay in my lane. All the brothers can stay in their lanes. And it should be like Antoine, that's able to, his wife had children and she's able to stay home while he provides for everything. That is the goal. He's saying exactly what I'm saying. Matter of fact, he's living exactly what I'm saying, but yet calling it simple.
No, I'm not. I'm not living what you're saying. Because I wasn't able to finish the point. The point was that when we have these conversations based off of what.
That's a heads up. Just be brief and brilliant with this because we want to get
I got you.
Go ahead.
I love you, brother.
And I love you too. And I think that we should be able to have conversations to where we provide differences of opinions, and sometimes it's going to be similar and sometimes it's going to overlap, but it doesn't have to necessarily be toxic, right? We just kick it, right? But here's the thing: when we speak to these conversations about relationships, we are in a different dynamic to where we have a certain level of net worth that allows for us to really be able to live in a different space, to where our wives don't necessarily have to go and work for somebody else. But the overwhelming majority of the population, including Black people specifically, you need two incomes in order to even build up that nest egg or be working towards something specific that allows for you to then divest yourself or allow for her to then work for you or to not have to work for somebody else in order for you to be able to survive, right? And so what I believe, similar to what he was saying, is a healthy relationship is if you have children that are old enough to go to school full time, she needs to be working and not necessarily just for you, because you may not even be in a position to where she can work for you yet. She needs to be going out, getting resources, going to work full time, and bringing 100% of those resources back into the household for him to manage. And when he manages those,
brother, that sounds like a prostitute and a pimp, brother. That sounds like a prostitute.
It's not.
Let me say something.
And this is why it's the difference. This is why it's the difference.
And we're gonna hear about Anton. Listen, we're gonna let you go on this one. We're gonna let y'all to close this one out. But before we let y'all to close it out, I just got one question for you, Anton. Yes or no? Is it fair to hold men to the expectation that it should be 50-50 until they're able to produce 100% of the finances? Is that fair?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yo, Anton, look, first of all, I appreciate you for coming up here and having a respectful conversation, brother. Much love to you, okay?
Yeah, God bless you. And also, I have nothing against him specifically. It's just certain talking points that I may disagree with. That's it.
No, first of all, Anton, we know you're mature, brother. It's all good. Yeah, ain't no love lost. We appreciate you for coming through.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, brother.
You know, it's beautiful that, you know, brothers are able to come and articulate themselves as well as that brother did about his opinion. It's just he's not living what he's talking about. And if a man's not practicing what he's preaching, that's a problem. And I'm saying this to all the brothers listening. Brothers, before you get a woman, make sure you're right. Now, if you're in a relationship, and this is what I would do, because I didn't start taking care of my wife when I became a millionaire. I took care of my wife as soon as she said she was mine. That means I stayed in my lane. I couldn't live in the big house. I had to get a house I could afford by myself. I couldn't get the nice car. I had to get a car that I could afford by myself. Yeah. It has nothing to do with a dollar amount. I know men right now that's working at Wendy's and construction and taking care of his whole family. Wendy's and construction. So can't nobody say the only way we can provide for our families by being millionaires. To the average man, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be where Antoine is, that's able to take care of his wife after she has children, you have to get yourself together. You have to make sure that you're willing to go hard for your family. And this is what I suggest you do. If you have a woman you love and you know she has a great mind and she's a great nurturer and she's loyal and she loves you, I want you to say, baby, if it's possible, can you please stay home? And if I have to work 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs to provide, I'm going to focus on providing, you focus on nurturing this business. And if you stay down with me and I stay down with you and I handle my job 100%, which is a provider, and you handle your job 100%, that's a nurturer. These things came from God, not yada. I didn't choose these roles for y'all. God did. If you nurture the children and the business, we will be in a whole different position in 24 months. Men, you have to go hard. You don't need a woman to help you with your job. Your job is to provide.
Guys, by the way, if you're backstage right now, I need you in the backstage private chat to let me know exactly what it is Just give me a sentence about what it is you want to communicate. I want ladies that have had it or are currently in an experience right now with a 50-50 brother. Have one, be brief and brilliant and tell me, or a brother that has a comment. And actually, the brothers are coming up tonight. I actually got another brother that I'm about to bring here to the stage right now. We got oh, he's already on here. My bad. Okay, cool. We got Kendall Ficklin on here. What's up with you, my brother?
What's happening, bro? How y'all doing, man?
K2, what's good?
K2, what's up, brother? What's your thoughts on this 50-50 situation here, man?
Man, bro, we kind of had this conversation on, one of our episodes before, when they dragged me through the mud all over social media about it. I don't agree. 50-50 to me, I'm agreeing with Yoda's point. My thing is, Yoda's good too. He's the wise one. Bro, oh, praises. Like facts. Like at the end of the day, as a man, there's certain responsibilities that you have. See, we're talking in terms of people talk in terms of duty. They use these different buzzwords, but at the end of the day, the word is responsibility, bro. Like it's your responsibility and your job to provide 100%. Period. And we got to stop complaining as men. It's always a complaint with dudes, like, oh well, she don't do this. Bro, you got to focus on being the man. Somebody was in the chat talking about well, what if she don't do this and she don't do that? What she does has nothing to do with the responsibility that you have that has been bestowed upon you as a man. Period. Which is provision. You're talking about finances, emotional, spiritual, and at the end of the day, you got to know your numbers, bro. You don't got rich to take care of your wife, bro. I'm 30. I've been taking care of my wife since I was 19 years old, bro. Oh, praise. 18, dog. I got 4 kids and I'm 33. She ain't working. I don't know how long. I don't remember. The goal is to give your wife, your woman, the option, bro. It's the option. We ain't trying to determine what they do with their life. We are trying to give them the option as a man to say, look, babe, if you want to work, you go work somewhere that you gonna love what you're doing, as opposed to going somewhere that you hate where you at. And be feeding my wife, bro, at the end of the day. And my wife, at the end of the day, you're not gonna go work for somebody. Let's go push you to build something of your own that you start tapping into her greatness. Bro, dudes is so I'm keep the language though. You know how I talk, bro. Because I see what type of time y'all on these days. You know what I'm saying? Look, at the end of the day, dudes be real lazy, weak, all of these words, dog. And at the end of the day, y'all need to tighten up, bro. Stop worrying about what the woman is doing in business as a man. At the end of the day, let's be real. At the end of the day, dog, if you didn't have a woman, you still gotta pay your rent. You still gotta pay with your mama. What are you talking about, dog? Like, what are we really talking about?
That was on K2 chest for a minute.
Listen, let the mic cool off. K2, listen, we love you, brother. I think K2 coming up on here giving you a piece, okay?
Love y'all, man. Y'all be good.
I'm sure, bro. Nobody else called in with a testimony like that. We know that, bro. Yeah. It's the homie. That's the homie. And he's really about that. And he's multiple generations of successfully ran.
His father is Kendall Ficklin, in which we had on here. So as you can see, what happens when a strong man is your pops. That's the product. And that man literally, yes, he got married as a teenager.
He got hella babies. Like,
he got hella babies. He said it, 4 babies.
But see, this is the thing. A lot of people's not understanding 50-50 in a dollar amount's a mental state. Because we just heard a millionaire say, nah, well, his wife doesn't work. I don't get how he believes in 50-50.
He actually is not 50-50.
Well, see, I want to talk about that too, because Anton is a very successful YouTuber, and I'm sure he does a multitude of other things, just like all of us. Definitely. And I believe in what he says. He take care of his household, and he put it down. Now the thing is, though, he's saying even though I do this, the average man might not be able to. So I do think he's having some level of sympathy for the average man.
But again, it's a mental state. The only reason he can even subscribe to that train of thought is because his father probably did that. Because if his father didn't do that, and he's saying the man's the leader, and he's talking biblical, clearly there's some biblical stuff missing. But he's saying biblically, I know his father's the one that gave him that form of information. Now, again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with men being 50-50. You're just not gonna have a peaceful life. Yeah, when you're sick and you're tired and you're old, your woman now, she's not there to rub your butt. When I say butt, I'm talking about now you're elderly, you can't wipe your own butt.
Right.
Now you're in some old person's home getting abused and getting robbed, while I'm 60 years old still looking young and my woman taking care of me. It's a different form of peace. The home has to be peaceful. And when a man's able to make sure this woman is right, the woman gonna do things for him that he can't imagine. But most men have never experienced a woman truly dwelling in her feminine. So it's foreign. They can't understand the blessings that we receive.
They don't even know what's on the other side.
They can't comprehend it. Then they see a man like me or the brother that was just on the phone saying, man, I don't care. This is what it is. Stop complaining, because man, we reaping the benefits.
Man, it's tricky because it's at some point. This is the thing, you tell a kid, they can do whatever, they can be whatever they want to be. Now we grown now, right? Well, we're talking to adults. All of a sudden, when we're talking to adults, we don't tell them, hey, even though you 50, 40, 30, you can still be whatever you want to be. We say, hey, since you're average, we're gonna change the rules for the average people. Is it? Do you think? I mean, is it too harsh? Is that too harsh? Should we communicate to the average guy that, hey, suck it up, do the work, or should we change the message?
Imagine this. Imagine guys saying, protector, not protector, provider, not provider, just an average Joe. What makes a man average? Every man has the same ability to do the same thing. Some men are just lazy. Some men rather complain, and some men watch their fathers work the heck out of their mothers.
Yeah.
Come on, when a man says I work for me, rather than us and the family, something's wrong with this, man. You can't tell me with a mental state like that your woman's at peace. It's impossible. It's impossible, man.
So, man, first of all, backstage is piling up.
Okay,
Listen,
listen,
I want you to go and do your thing. Did you have any announcements before we go into this next question?
No. So shout out. I mean, I got a lot of announcements, but I don't want to keep it on because we just hot right now. Let me see how many people we got in the chat. Shout out to TW for doubling up on the super chats. Shout out to Jay Renee. Shout out to TW for also joining the initiates, and shout out to Wild Ones. And we got Ikene. Ikene, when are you gonna join the family, man? When are you gonna become an initiate? He says this chat room tells me that most of the women here are single because they won't listen to men. You know what? Ikene, it's kind of crazy because Ikene, he's been following us for a long time. He's definitely supported. He watches the episodes. He supports us financially as well. But Ikene, he really doesn't seem to have faith that women will truly be open to listening and even catering to a man.
So let me give him the gem.
And that's an assumption that I'm making.
But listen to me. See, a woman is never masculine around masculine men. A man that has to say a woman doesn't listen, a woman doesn't do this, a woman doesn't do that. You should ask yourself why. I just never seen it. I've never seen it in my life. But most men are not willing to put in that internal work. It's something wrong with you. If you're even attracting a woman that doesn't listen to you, there's something wrong with you.
You got laughing in the background right here. It's going in.
We got all kind of stuff going on because this is different. The message is crazy. It's hitting. I mean, the chat is going crazy.
No, by the way, we just hit 2,000 people in the chat right now. It's 2,000 people in here watching live. What I need everybody to do, we only got 500 likes. I need everybody to smash that great thumbs up because that's what's going to tell YouTube to send this out because people need to be up in here receiving this message today.
And I'm Yada, how you feeling, man?
I feel blessed, brother.
Okay,
real
good.
First of all, you know his brother's diet is incredible. His stamina is great.
Shout out to KN, Shanae, Randall, and Janelle for all sending over those super chats. And special shout out to Janelle who just hit 5 months of membership. I mean, at 6 months you get
one of
the OGs. One of the OGs.
We only been doing this for 5 months in a membership. So shout out to you.
Yeah, it's big. She's day one. And guys, we are going listen, we are planning so many things for the YouTube membership because I mean, I guess at the point we got to 500, we can start getting emailed at least every other day, sometimes multiple times a day about the wonderful things that you guys would like to see a part of the membership. Me and Tashana not only working on those things, but we're going to put things in place for the community the community members, the ones that's been supporting us the longest and the hardest to be in leadership roles within the community. So we're working all of that out. So be patient with us.
Be patient. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and bring one of our listeners to the stage. I think I got Dira. Help me out with your name pronunciation, sweetheart. What's your name?
Dira.
It's Dira.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Dara, for go ahead and get situated. Get stationed. If you can, while we got Yada here, I want you to give me your location, your age, and give me your question.
Give us some softness too, because the fellas was going hard.
I am 42. I'm in New Jersey, City, and
your question. So you're 32, and make sure your hand is not over your mic because you sound a little muffled, and I want to make sure we get good sound from you. So you're 32. You're from New Jersey. 42. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And okay, so I've been with my partner for 9 years.
Wait. We got some background noise. There, listen. You got to be ready when you come up here. It's 2,000 people up in this joint here. We got to get to it.
I'm ready. Okay. I've been with my partner for 9 years, and we've been splitting.
I'm sorry. Listen, dear. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, so I need you to look. Go ahead, get your sound right. Get backstage, and I'm gonna let you back up. Okay.
I think it's just the reception in the hallway in the building that she might be in.
No, I'm sorry. Listen, I need y'all to go ahead and have the sound right and be ready when you come up to the stage.
And sometimes we don't get it right, but that's okay. We not listen. We here with y'all, so we can bring her back up. But get it right, and then we're gonna get you back on.
Backstage, I want you to go ahead and in that chat, that private chat, put your question or your testimony. I got Alexis coming to the stage. Alexis, what's up with you, girl?
Oh, hi, how are you?
You didn't even listen, it's happening fast. I'll be ready backstage.
It is. I'm ready. I was taking notes. I just want to thank you guys for your platform. Yada, thank you so much for saying it like it is and how it was designed to be.
Okay. So, hold on, wait. Start with your age and location before you give me your question.
I am in Memphis and I'm 30.
Okay.
Shout out, Memphis.
Yes. So my question is, how do I position myself to be attracting better? Because I had to leave a man with a 50-50 mindset. And unfortunately, I had invested too much time, too much energy, and on my way out, discovered that I had a baby on the way. So I feel like I have to learn how to co-parent with someone with that mindset. And then 2, how do I not make the same mistake?
You have to truly understand your value. You have to fall so deep in love with yourself that nothing else matters. You have to heal from any form of childhood trauma. Because when we're traumatized as children, we start to attract that into our adulthood, and we start to attract men. As you're a woman, you're attracting a man that reflects majority of, or not all of, your childhood traumas. So everything first starts with you. Love you, put yourself first, Because when you put yourself first, you're putting your child first. But if you put something above you, you're going to put your child last, and that's not what you want. So just love yourself and prepare. Just get yourself right. Work out, meditate, pray, whatever it is you need to do for yourself. But love on yourself.
I appreciate that. I have definitely been on that path, and I can say that it's been very smooth. I appreciate this.
Okay, sis, I love you, okay?
Much love, Alexis. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Memphis, baby. Yeah. Y'all know who that is. Yeah. We gotta get that young Dolph soundbite in here, man.
So check it out. The next person I want to bring up here, we have a loyal hardly initiated listener here.
Who we got coming up?
Stephanie coming to the platform. Stephanie, what is popping with you? Oh, Stephanie, hold on. You're on mute. Make sure you get your sound right. You got to make sure you add your sound to the joint.
Add your sound. She's smiling at what? Stephanie ready.
Look, you ready? There you go.
Let's go.
What up, Stephanie?
What's up, Stephanie? We doing good.
Blessed, Stephanie. We are blessed. How you doing?
I am great. My name is Stephanie. I am in Houston, Texas, and I'm 51.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love
that's
you.
Beautiful. Give me a question, Steph.
I have more of a comment. So It's funny that we're having this conversation because I just started a podcast, and I started with my children, and we had this very same conversation. I have 2 girls, 26 and 21. The 26-year-old just got married. And when I say just got married, this young man found my daughter, moved from Dallas to Oklahoma, proposed to her in June, got married in July. He has thanked me and said, thank you so much for the way that you raised her. He said, I was a 50-50 nigga until I met your daughter. And I
Oh, praise.
So let me tell you something. What he was talking about and saying it makes a difference. A man cannot say, I love you and still, be acting some kind of way, be on the fence. It is very true. We just had this conversation 2 days ago. I will also tell you that as far as like doing 50-50, I don't like it because it keeps score. It keeps score. And when you keep score, you pit that person against you. You become enemies. And it's so small. And it takes place. And before you know it, you're resentful, like you were saying with the brother that needed to have his $12.50 reimbursed. I was like, $12.50, really? $12.50? You gotta be kidding me. And so when you pit each other, if you become adversaries, you can't have a successful marriage where you're constantly fighting against each other. And we know what the definition of love is, right? Love is patient, love is kind. The other part of that is that it keeps no record of wrong. So if you're doing 50-50, you're keeping a record. If you're keeping a record, it can't be love, especially if you're that petty. It just can't be. Now, the other part of that, and I'm going to be through, is that, yes, I'm single, I'm divorced, I'm single, and I am looking, but I will say that my ex, even he misses those things that I provided that you were talking about. So not everyone deserves it. Not everyone even recognizes it until it's gone.
Definitely.
So here's the other part of that, is that, yes, I do believe as a woman who is very traditional, raised my daughters and I worked, and for 2 years even ran a business full time. Now, my ex was a provider. I will never take that from him. He was not a good husband, but he was an excellent provider. We never wanted for anything. Biblically, in the Proverbs 31 passage, it talks about her going out, buying and selling and buying property. She doesn't have to work, but I think it's good for a woman to work because she needs to have some identity for herself. It also does, in terms of her going out and buying, like the way that I read it is that she's handling business. She's buying and selling property. She's investing. She is helping with the household. Another part of helping with the household, it goes.
Hold tight now. She's trying to be co-host right now.
Listen, we love you.
We love you, Steph.
We appreciate you.
Great.
We'll get these listeners up, other initiates up in here.
Stephanie, smile. Stephanie, we appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you, guys.
She's about to preach on here.
She's about to go in. First of all, she's fresh off the conversation, which shows you how relevant this conversation is. And she's having a conversation with her 2 beautiful daughters, trying to teach them the game, trying to teach them the right way and how to get a man. And she found connection at 26. I mean, it's tough to find connection for this young lady to find connection at 26. And for Stephanie to have the influence over her daughter, her father, whoever the father is, Stephanie, over her daughter, and then her daughter to have such a such a influence and impact on her now husband is really phenomenal.
You know, it's a beautiful thing because a good woman will naturally elevate a good man. Naturally. Now, if a woman is pouring to a man and a man ain't pouring back, we already know what type of man we dealing with.
Yeah, because you can see it, because she did say that brother had, the 50-50 ideology, prior to, prior to actually meeting her daughter. Stephanie, put in the chat, I want to know, what was it that your daughter did to change his ideology? I want to hear. I know the ladies want to know that one too. So drop that one in the chat for everybody.
And see, you got a mix of what's being stated. We saying 50-50 mindset, 50-50 ideology, 50-50 structure. But what it truly is, right? Is it both, or is it really just the financial structure of how finances or financial responsibility?
You know what she just said? She said something. She said, my ex-husband was an amazing provider. But see, men have to understand that if you want to be 100% man, you have to be 100% on every level. It can't just be financially itself. Because if you're financially providing, but you're not adding the emotional, spiritual, and the mental, that's a 50-50 man. You're just a 50-50 man with money.
Man, first of all, speaking of this, so shout out to Dyra. Was it Dyra or Dira that came up here? Look, excuse me if I mispronounce your name, but she actually put in here the situation because we couldn't get the sound right.
Okay.
But she actually communicated this. She said, I've been in a relationship for 9 years. We split every bill, both working full time. I do everything else in the house, the kids, the cooking, the cleaning, the nurturing, buying, the baking, cooking the bacon, and cleaning up after. We haven't been on a date in 4 years. He's on the phone with his friends all day long, but we don't text or talk much. When I express to him that, he robs me of the joy I have in taking care of him and the house. I'm taking care of him in the house. He says he says if we have sex, it will prompt him to give me what I want. Wow.
Listen again. And this is that pimp mentality. This 50-50 thing is a pimp's mentality. We go back to what Antoine said. She works for me. She works for me. She would now rather she works for us and she works for the family. Now this man, she's saying, I'm doing everything. I want to give him this. I want to do this. I'm taking care of the children. I'm working. But he's saying he will treat me better. He will give me attention if I sleep with him. Clearly she's tired.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly she's depressed. Clearly she's stressed. She's suffering from forms of anxiety. And she is in a relationship with her personal enemy.
To be honest,
and first off, I think you probably hit the nail on the head with that one. At that point, you do become an enemy to the woman.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You are literally preventing her from
being great.
But see, what ends up happening, though, it actually backfires on you as a man. Because when your woman is in that place and that resentment starts to build and the disrespect starts to grow, what ends up happening is you end up coming home to a home that is chaos.
Empty too.
Not peace, not peaceful, not loving. Like the environment, the energy that the woman is supposed to help create and cultivate in that home, the culture of, listen, it's not there.
And I'm saying, if we look at the divorce rate, it's more women falling for divorce, but the men aren't asking why. They're not asking why. And the first thing these I don't want to be disrespectful.
Hey, you can
what
take
these,
time.
what these 50-50 brothers are asking for is a woman to put their whole well-being on stand, and not just theirs, but also the children. So you put everybody on pause. This is a devilish mentality, because if it was great, if it was divine, if it was natural, the whole house would be at peace. Everybody. But they're not. And then when you look at the woman, we say, oh, she's complaining. Man, she's not built to go through what we built to go through. We don't love the way she loved. We don't work hard like she worked hard. We different. I can come home, right? My children come, they're beautiful, and they're laughing, and they're joking. But 10 minutes of just sitting down, I'm like, oh my goodness, how's she deal with this? And she's walking around happy. I'm like, man, I'm not wired to be that. And she's not wired to be what I am. We're forcing women into positions, and then we're not even kind enough to say, thank you. We're not even kind enough to say, here's some roses. She said he doesn't even text me, but he's on his phone. I just want to say, who's he texting?